All right, welcome back to episode 4 of 11 Bang Gang. We got the myth, the legend, the hero here again, back for take 2, Shayne Wood.
Hey, boys, Seahorse Nation fellas.
Okay, so I know you told me you wasn't on X, so I don't know if this story has made the rounds on Facebook yet. Okay, so Vance, the vice president, went to Camp Pendleton the other day. He gave that speech. You might have seen parts of the speech on Facebook.
Yeah.
But apparently when he was rolling in, they had an artillery unit shooting 155 shells over the freeway. And allegedly, this is from what I understand. Yeah, from what I understand, a piece of shrapnel landed on a California Highway Patrol's car. And Gavin Newsom, the governor, was like, oh, it damaged the car. And so then people on X were all of a sudden artillery experts. They're like, bro, it was a short fuse. Bro, you know how the internet experts come out, dude? It was insane. I learned more about artillery in 2 days of reading about that story than I ever knew in the military.
Nah, man, I didn't hear anything about that. That's wild. I probably need to get on X now that I think about it, just for even like professional purposes, like for marketing. I think that would really help. And apparently it's, everyone's talking about, oh, I heard this on Twitter or X. And it's just like this news information network that, it's probably all BS. But in the end, it's like, I don't want to stay up with what's going on in the world, man.
X has less advertisements, so you won't see nowhere near as many advertisements, but it's just there are extremes of people on there, and you kind of got to ignore that. But past that, dude, I mean, now I will say that like there's a lot of veterans on there, because like when I was looking up the artillery thing, there was a guy who was like, he had the best comment. He posted all the range, like the actual ranges on Camp Pendleton, and I was like, bro, I haven't seen that map in years. Yeah, so but they said that the end result is the Marine Corps is investigating. I said I put $100 on the fact that it wasn't what they said it was, because Newsom's just, I'm sure he was just trying to find something to complain about. But they did show this tiny chunk. But here was my point, is if it was a low airburst over the highway, we both know, and I'm sure a lot of people listening will say the same thing, that if that thing was low enough, it would have did a lot more damage than drop one tiny piece of shrapnel on a highway patrol hood.
Yeah, the whole car's getting smoked. I mean, maybe the engine block survives, but that dude's pink mist. I mean, through the windshield, he's gone. One piece. I mean, you're probably barely, in that radius, bro.
Well, here's my thing is, from what the picture I seen, it didn't even look like the piece of shrapnel went into the hood. So it looked like it just kind of fell. So maybe it was a piece of the shell. I don't know.
It's that's like the act of God. I think honestly that's what you'd have to call it. Or I mean, no one would give you a tactical explanation for how the hell that just happened.
Well, according to the few true artillery experts I've seen, they said that even if it was like it was like a bad round, they were like, it's a 1 in a million shot. They were like, because you know how many 155 shells we shoot? So, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, okay, so I wanted to, I know we're supposed to talk about what you did after the Marine Corps, but I wanted to ask one quick thing, because we never got to it on the other podcast, and I thought about it. You said Moda got blown up. Their truck they hit an IED on September 11th.
Yeah. I'm pretty dang sure. Because I think I was on picket that time. We were on a picket run, and he got hit.
Okay, when he got hit, did you have Reddy in your squad?
Oh shoot, yeah. Reddy was 3rd squad, I believe. Yeah, it's him and Fleming. Yeah. Reddy was, or not him.
I don't remember.
He was in the truck though.
He was, well, okay. The only reason I ask is because there was one instance, and I don't remember who it was, and I don't remember what platoon, but somebody hit an IED in either that truck or the truck behind it. the dude got he got a shrapnel come across his face, gave him a gnarly scar. It looks pretty tight. But
Yeah.
yeah, he was like, "Hey, I got a sweet scar out of the deal." but
Yeah.
and I don't remember if that was that or not. But yeah,
Man, no, I don't. I think if it would have been a cool scar like that, and and it was among the the Boot News network, it would have made the rounds. I would have heard about it. We were all trying to avoid getting hazed, hanging out in groups. Yeah, it
dude,
was fun.
I'm gonna tell you, the last podcast I just did yesterday, that dude, they
Yeah.
couldn't even drive trucks, man. They had so many IEDs. Apparently, the valley they were in was like where all the IEDs were being made at. So it was insane. He was
Oh
like, dude,
my god.
we just couldn't drive. Yeah. And I was like, bro,
Jesus.
that's
So it's
insane.
all like, I mean, that's all foot patrols, CMDs, and I mean, at that point, dude, you're looking at just ground signature. If disturbed Earth, you're going tracking, straight tracking. You're no technology is going to help you when you're in a IED facility and you're just
Yeah.
in the mecca of it. Pun intended. But God, man, that's wild.
Dude, but listen to this. So, and he told me this, and I just want to say this. I want to tell you this and get your reaction.
Yeah,
So, the Army, I didn't think about this. And if you listen to it, you'll hear us go about this more than once. But he's like, we didn't have EOD attached to them at first in the deployment. And I was like, why not? And he was like, because you have to understand the Army is so big. There are so many units deployed at the same time that, yes, there's an EOD team assigned to your AO, but they're not with you because we just don't have enough. He was like, you got to understand the Marine Corps is so small that you guys can do that. And I got to thinking
yeah,
about that, and I was like, okay, so if you guys found an ID, we kept our EOD team at the main position, or if we run ops, they were out with us. But so if you guys found an ID, you'd either mark it and move on, or they would come out. And if they come out, it'd probably take an hour, 30 minutes. But he's talking like if
yeah.
they found an ID and had to wait on EOD, they were talking like at least a 6 hour wait.
Yeah, dang man, you're just a sitting duck. Oh, that's bad time right there.
I was like, man, dude, that is insane. 6 hours. He was like, yeah, dude. He was like, that was one of them things, like, where we had a truck blow up or something. You got to wait on a wrecker. It's got to come all the way from the district center. You remember that jump would take 6, 7, 8
Oh
hours
man, yeah,
sometimes.
dude, ridiculous amount of time, and what people don't realize, like it's not like you're just driving, excuse me, and you just hit an IED. Like you're gonna drive, you're gonna hit the IED, and wherever you hit it, they put it there for a reason. There's a tactical advantage. You're either funneled or trapped. So
Yeah.
if you're bogged down, they start learning this. So they know, the Taliban eventually, and I'm sure Al Qaeda learned it, that if EOD has to show up and these guys start forming 360s around this site, I mean, we got all the time in the world. We can pick them off. We can just sit there and do these sort of probing or pop shots. That was the worst. It'd be like randomly some dude just probably smoking something, toking it, and he would just
Yeah.
pop around the corner, randomly just sling off, a whole burst and then disappear into the shadows. Nothing for the next 20 minutes, but all of our buttholes are just straight
Yeah.
puckered at that moment. And then it stays that way. And you're hoping for like a consistent firefight because it used to make the time fly by. But no, man, when you're in those, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, IED holds as cordons, dude, that's a long time. So 6 hours, yes, you're lucky you made it
Yeah,
out.
man.
I'll tell you that,
I
dude.
mean, dude, yeah, you'll have to listen to that one. That guy, we thought I mean, I'm not gonna say that he was in a
Yeah.
hotter AO, but it sure sounds like it. I mean, they were,
Everybody was getting boned, man. That's the way I look
dude.
at it. We were all
That,
just getting it.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I had to pull a map out because when he told me, he was like, we were in the Logar province, and I was like, where is
You're
that? It's
yeah.
on dude, it's on the border of Pakistan. Like they were way up, kind of at like
Whoa.
9,000 feet elevation. Yeah, they were getting it, dude.
Oh, dude, I wonder what their ROEs were like. Because I would imagine we used to have we had a couple guys run from us to a different border. I think it was the Jordanians were holding it down, or the Georgians. Not the Jordanians, the Georgians were kind of holding that. So we were allowed to operate in that area. And it was like the Taliban knew it. They would shoot at you and then just mob out in their little mopeds, go
Yeah.
across the way. So being all the way up there by the Paki border, that's man, it's a tussle. That's hard.
Yeah.
Tactically,
I don't
administratively, it's a nightmare.
I don't think they were right on the border, but he said the valley they were in was very kinetic. And I mean,
Yeah.
they had the same experience, dude. They got there, roll in, the helicopter's getting shot at when they're there at their position. I'm like, yeah, bro, feel you on that one.
Yeah.
It's like,
Welcome to the
dang.
fucking show.
Yeah, he had some wild stories, but yeah, I just thought it was weird because it was cool because 90% of the guys you're going to talk to were Helmand Province, so it's cool to see somebody from Kunar, Logar, or any of these other kind of way out there that you read about in books.
Oh yeah, man. I remember good old Lieutenant Bennett, shout out, dude. He sat us all down as a weapons platoon, and this was like when it got real, bro. We went to the second platoon. They used to have these in the barracks. They had like platoon offices, like little communal areas you could go in,
Yeah.
day rooms for those of you who have been to jail. So you basically go into your day room and your whole platoon's sitting there. And my platoon commander, he has his TV and he's like, "Hey, we're going to Helmand, which is south of where these guys are at. They're up in the place. I forgot exactly which province, but it's called Restrepo." And if you watch
Yeah.
that movie, keep in mind, as a boot,
Dang.
you don't know context about tactics. You don't understand that, like, these guys, I mean, this is terrible, but the leadership is not doing them any wonders right now. Like, their individual actions are terrible because the leadership actions are terrible. And it just played throughout
Mm.
the movie. Anyways, man, it was an eye opener going in there. And that's when you start seeing dudes get schwacked and you see real time combat footage from Afghanistan in those northern provinces. So in my eyes, like that's where we're going. We're gonna
Yeah,
go
but
hike up
see
in these mountains, Restrepo
that
style.
when
Was nothing like that, bro.
when he told me that he was like when he told me they were over there and I looked at the map, I said, "Have you ever heard of Restrepo?" He was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." So then I asked him because when he said that their OP was overlooking the village, but it was still in the valley. I was like, "Hold on," because I'm thinking that's why I mentioned that for anybody who listens to this one that listened to the last one. That's why I mentioned Restrepo because the reason that me and Shayne are talking about Restrepo, it's a famous army movie if you haven't seen it, and it really happened. They had a base, it was in a bowl, the enemy could basically
Terrible.
fire down on it. Yeah, and it was an incredibly rough go, and them boys, they fought. And they almost got overrun like what, 2 or 3 times or
Oh yeah.
something?
Yeah, definitely 2 or 3 times. And it's that movie really doesn't do it justice for anyone who's been shot at. When they're far away, 800 meters, that's not that bad, to be honest with you, as long as they're not accurate fire. But even if they're not accurate fire and it's, above you and it's 20 meters away, that's terrifying. And they were dealing with this weekly. And
Dude,
it's
yeah.
it's incredible that movie and their tactics that they didn't develop. That's what I noticed. Like we developed as we were there. Like we developed night tactics that to this day when I tell people the stuff that we did, they're like, you guys are crazy. You're geniuses. You're a bunch of retarded geniuses. Like I can't believe like the dip in the Q-tips and the IR chem lights. Dude, that was so smart. And it was a bunch of GEDs that figured that one out. That's what blew my mind,
Man.
man. So yeah, shout out to Restrepo, man, and the army kicking it up north while we were kicking indoors down south or kicking in mud huts.
Yeah, kicking it
Man,
butt.
there's like three
Yeah.
doors, bro.
Dude, have you heard the podcast? There's a podcast called Martyr Made. Have you ever heard that?
No.
Okay, okay, okay. It's called Martyr Made. So martyr
Okay.
as in a martyr, and then made. He does these podcasts. He goes super in detail about the history. He reads history books. He reads letters from the time. He reads
Oh.
all this stuff. He did like a 30-something hour series on the Israel-Palestine conflict, like all the way from the beginning. He did this
Oh.
years ago. And
Oh, Jesus.
he did an entire series on the Jones massacre the dude who had the church and took all those people to South America and they drank the Kool-Aid?
Oh yeah, the cult stuff. I remember
Yeah, the
that.
cult dude.
Yeah.
That was an excellent series because he plays like this dude's tapes. Because you're like, how does this
Yeah.
guy convince people to follow him in a cult? Anyway, he's doing a series right now that is highly controversial and actually made national news when he first said he was going to do it. He's doing World War II from the eyes of Germany. So, like, from the German
Oh
perspective.
boy.
Yeah, bro. I'm in it. I
Don't get
love
me
it.
started, bro. I'll just say that. Don't fire that
But
wheel. I will be here all day.
yeah, I'm not going to get into the politics of it. But what I will say is he's in it right now, and he's talking about how Germany is fighting the trenches in World War One in 1918, and they decide they're like, okay, at the end of the war, they're starting to develop real tactics. So they're saying, you know what? Instead of just shooting back and forth and artillerying back and forth, we're going to take a squad or a platoon of soldiers, and we're gonna start basically doing hits. Hey, don't stay in engaged combat.
Yeah.
Just hit an area and pull back. And I'm like, oh, this is super interesting because
Yeah. All
it's
unit
the
tactics,
nexus
man.
of like small unit tactics and small unit leadership. And man, that's why I love that guy. Props to you, dude. He does an
Bro.
excellent podcast.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna check that out, man, because I'm pretty deep into that rabbit hole. I'll leave it there. And
I'll
I'm
put it
very
to you this
right.
way.
All right.
The first episode is 4 hours long.
Oh
So
man. All right. That's like a half a work day. I can pull that one off, man. I'll kill some time, bro.
that's my thing. That's why I listen to all his stuff because I just have time. Because I wear hearing aids, and so I just Bluetooth it to my hearing aids during work.
Oh, I've
So I
seen
just
those.
listen to stuff.
They're like translucent, so you can't even tell that they're in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy cool, man.
yeah, bro. Like when they told me I had hearing loss bad enough to get hearing aids after the Marine Corps, I was just like, seriously? And they were like, yeah, bro. I was like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They told me the same thing. They'll at my VA here in Kentucky. I go to the Florence Clinic, and they told me the same thing. They're like, yeah, if you want them, we'll pay for them. But at the time, I was like getting a physical to do a Muay Thai fight, so I wasn't trying to get my ear like show up with some hearing aids. I just can immediately be told to go home.
Well, see, mine is to the point where, and I'm sure a lot of other vets will probably be able to relate. One, we all have ringing in the ears. Most of us all have tinnitus.
Oh yeah,
it is what it is. But the other thing is for me personally, I don't understand words. I don't hear them. So like, I know you're talking to me, but like, you'll say one word and I'll be like, what? And that's
yeah.
my biggest issue.
They put you in that room where they're like, corn dog, and then you gotta say it
Yeah.
back. Yeah, I failed the shit out of that one too, bro. That guy was so mad at me. He's like, "You're not even trying." I'm like, "Sir, I am ordered to be here. I'm fucking trying because I want to get out of here and go to the gym." It's like my
First of
last
all,
month in
you're
the Marine.
like, you're like, homie, I literally shot a machine gun with no hearing pro for many years. It's like, yeah, try me. Try me. Okay. Hi. So let's pick up where we left off. So
All right.
you all right, so quick refresher. You get out, you join the motorcycle club, you're
Yeah.
damn near homeless, you're drinking all the time,
Yeah.
your dad dies, right?
Oh, it's like much later. It's like 5 years
Okay.
after that. Yeah.
But you had talked about how you got with that girl, then y'all got divorced, I
Oh
think.
yeah, dude. I went through a couple divorces. Actually, this is
Okay.
my third shout out. But to be fair, I got married real young the first time. I found out what BAH was, dudes, and my white
Heck
trash
yeah.
ass was sold. I saw a scam, and I was a criminal before the Marine Corps. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best morals. I had good upbringing. I just was an asshole. So I had to write a congressman to even get into the Marine Corps. I was like 14. I had some vandalism felonies for just getting stoned and throwing some bricks through a
Oh
construction
shit.
site, dude. Yeah, man. So like my I saw BAH. I'm like, yo, I'll marry that. I'll find some chick who's a local and just kind of play that out. And it blew up in my face. End of the day,
Okay,
guys, it was
hold on.
horrible. It was a bad choice.
BAH, for those of you who don't know,
Yeah,
BAH is when you get married and you're in the military and when you get married, you make a lot of extra money. You get a certain amount of money for housing, you get a certain amount of money for having a spouse. And now you can live in a shithole and save a ton of that housing money, or you can live somewhere super nice and spend it all. So but
yeah.
now take that with a grain of salt, but that's how it rolls. So yeah, there's a lot of lore in the military behind young dudes are just like, I'm getting paid, dog. I'm getting married to the first chick at the strip club that
Oh
shows
man,
me she loves me, you know.
dude, no
But
lie.
anyway, all right, dude. Yeah.
Shout out to my first ex-wife. Still hate you if you're listening. Uh, dude, it was the first girl I got back from Afghanistan, and Jurgy comes in my room, and I'm already drunk, and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna go to Redlands. It's this university, and it's like an hour away, and we're gonna go there." Ended up going there. That's where I met her, and so like that's where the whole thing went down. But I had a kid with her, and then that just tanked while I was in the Marine Corps. But I ended up getting out of the Marine Corps with 2 divorces, 3 kids, and I just didn't know any of them. Like I just was being a dirtbag, dude. I got out. I figured I was gonna die while I was in, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, I
Now
was
it's
gonna say
motorcycle
disappointment.
club. Because I rode motorcycles for like a long time, not a long, probably like a few years before I got out of the Marine Corps. So I was already like passively suicidal. I didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't exactly want to. I wasn't like pursuing it, but if it happened, I wasn't, going against that door. So I started riding with that motorcycle club, and I like signed my custody agreement with my second baby mama and gave her like 100% custody. So now I was just off to the winds. I was
Oh
working
yeah.
for some construction company, under the table cash. My club brother was the lead, so he got me the job. So I'm like living at the clubhouse. And just waking up, taking some shots of tequila. I would usually do about 3 shots of tequila because we had a bar inside our clubhouse. Not to be super cliche, Sons of Anarchy, but it wasn't that nice. I think it was cooler because we had a
Oh
different
dude,
vibe going on.
I, I've been to a couple clubs and I've never seen one without a bar. So I'll put it to
That's
you
what I'm
that
saying.
way.
It's not a
Yeah,
clubhouse if you don't have a bar. I remember that being
that's
a
right.
distinct conversation because
Yeah.
I was there for like the garage club days, bro. I showed up to that club when there was no clubhouse. It was kind of a small club, to be honest with you, and there was like this huge surge that happened. It wasn't because of me joining. I just happened to have met them at the right time. But when I got out, dude, and I was showing up drunk to these work sites, my club brother had been around me a lot, so he understood. Like, all right, Spit. My name was Spitwood. For anyone who doesn't understand, you get a road name when you're in a motorcycle club. You do not get to choose your road name. You don't get to be like, I want to be called Laser. Like, you got. There's like a story that'll usually come with it, and it's not going to be a name you like, and the club brothers are going to give it to you while you're a prospect. It could very well change. But Spitwood stuck with me because I went to the barbershop in the hood, and to recap, I'm white as hell. And I went with my Chicano brethren who fit in, like that's just his hood. We rolled up there, and R.I.P. Big Homie. He died a few weeks ago, actually, in a motorcycle crash. Uh,
Damn.
yeah, man. But that's the way he wanted to go out, man. But we show up to this barber shop off Thunder Drive in Vista, California. You can just
Oh
Google
man.
it and just figure out that's not a nice area. So I'm chilling there, and I go in. I don't understand the premise of the barbershop culture among non-white people. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking he's there for a haircut. I'm waiting the whole time, like, homie, get the haircut. Let's go ride. And I'm talking. I mean, these Chicanos, they're like covered head to toe in tattoos, bro. And they've got like no shit, bro. In prison, sometimes they don't give you paper; they give you like cardboard, right? I've never been. This is from the big homies telling me. And you do your artwork on cardboard, and they had like framed artwork from the big homies that were locked up on the inside in the
Get
barbershop.
out of here, dude.
Like, I
Get
swear to
out of
God,
here.
dude, on God, on everything. It was crazy. I was like, it was good too. It was like some Aztec chick with some tits. It was badass, bro. Uh, and he shows, he's like, it's the big homie. I'm like, word, man. Like, I got a huge dip in, right? And we leave the barbershop. They understand I'm just white as hell, but I'm cool. You know, I'm down. You know, I'm a tougher looking dude, and eventually I'm gonna have to back that up. But he kind of tells us all, like, I'll see you guys later. We're all supposed to meet up, right? It's supposed to be this whole thing called church. Now, church isn't like we all go there and pray. Church is just where you go have like a meeting. Now, nothing I'm talking about is like ultra super classified or gang underworld or motorcycle club, you know, hidden knowledge. This is like stuff you can just Google or go on YouTube and figure
Yeah.
out. But church is a
Oh, yeah.
meeting of the club. So we all go to church. Now, if you've never been in the club, you're not a part of that club, you start out as a guest. That I was a guest. My friend Abel was like, hey, come around, check it out. I checked it out. Hey, we're having church. Okay, show up at church, dude. Now that's a big deal. That means at the time I didn't really know because I hadn't played with any big boy clubs yet. I'd been in like these small vet clubs. They were all garage clubs. So now I'm with like, you know, it's still a garage club, but this is like a 3-piece club in California, territorial bottom rocker. Like these fools know what's up. They're serious about their business. So I show up to church. I'm a guest. I want to be a hang around. That's the next rank, right? Hang around means you just kind of like you're just hanging around. It's self-explanatory. You're chilling. You can have beer. You can talk to the members. You can say, bro, man, dude, whatever. It's cool. It's kind of fun because it's like you're just a homie. You're like an official homie of the homies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's awesome, bro. And I'm like I said, I'm white, pulling up all these like hood ass gas stations. I'm making friends, dude. Like I know people now. Like I have actual other friends. No one's white. It's hella awkward. I got this big red beard, and I'm all messed up from being in the military, but everyone's still nice to me. So I'm taking
Yeah.
that as this is the brotherhood I want to be in, right?
This
So
is
I'm
yeah, it
recruited. That's how that works. That's what a lot of people don't realize is they know the demographic to pull from. That's why they choose combat vets because we seek that brotherhood. We seek that family where even though we're struggling, well, we're all struggling, brother. So I go sit down with these guys and it's terrifying. And as soon as I pull up the president, right? You have a president, you have a vice president, you have a sergeant at arms, you have a secretary, you have a treasurer. Some people have a road captain, and some clubs will even have a dedicated enforcer, which tactical advice and legal advice. If you're the guy doing the enforcer or enforcing, probably don't wear anything that labels you as the person doing that because that definitely requires violence. And then I see guys doing it all the time. I'm like, why would you
dude.
do that?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Oh
real.
man. But I go up there and it was a weird time because I was married to this my second marriage, shout out, second baby mama. She was a cop, dude. So like I'm trying to hang out with these boys. Yeah, they're not having that. And when I show up, I see the president. He's all tatted up and he's like, "Oh, hey, spit." And I didn't hear the T on the end of it. I thought it was a C, like, hey, spick, like the slur, like Hispanic. And I was like, I'm not Mexican, so like must not be talking to me. But he was looking right at me, and it was hella awkward, dude. Because cholos, they wear sunglasses no matter what time of day it is, and you have no idea where they're like staring at. So he could be looking right through you, but talking to you. So I'm like, all right, man. And luckily, my homie was like, "What are you trying to say?" You know, his name was Junebug. He's like, "What are you trying to say, Junebug?" Like, oh, well, he left his spitter at my fucking barber shop whenever you guys were there, and he took off. And I'm like, dude, no, just mad disrespect. Church hasn't even started. And this dude's like already kind of semi clowning me in front of everybody. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, whatever, acting like I didn't care. At the time, I didn't smoke weed. So, like, and I wasn't really allowed to drink at that point there because I didn't know those fools. So I'm just like really embarrassed, a lot of anxiety. They all go into the house, the backyard, do their thing, talk, and I get to meet these prospects who are like actual prospects, like
Yeah.
dudes who will
Yeah.
fucking stab you, bro. They're not playing around. I knew immediately after talking to these guys for like an hour, like this is not a fucking game. This isn't like we're gonna hang out after work. Like this is a motherfucking club, and we have to be
Yeah.
about it. We're gonna get checked. And you will. Absolutely. If you don't care what kind of club you are in Southern California, you're going to get checked. That means someone's going to come up to you. I don't care if you're wearing, just to break it down for people, how it works, you're going to have a one piece patch, which is like your wild hogs type guys. They just kind of get together and they want to ride around, and that's cool, man. And a lot of people don't press those fools because there's no need to, and real men don't do that shit. Then you have like two piece clubs. Now, a lot of outlaw clubs are still two piece. They're going to have a top rocker, and then they're going to have a bottom rocker, which could be conjoined with their main patch. It could be reversed also, right? There's variations of it. Now, you have a three piece. That's going to be a top rocker, your center patch, and your bottom rocker, your MC cube. There is something called protocol in the biker community where if you are a three piece club, you got three pieces on that cut, your cut being your little biker vest, right? You have to be about it. It doesn't even matter if you're a Christian club. If someone pulls up on you, they're not like going to be like, hey, you bang fool. It's not like that. It's kind of like they're going to pull up and be like, you guys are rocking three pieces. Where are you guys out of? They just kind of want to know, who do you know? And if it starts kind of being a weird situation, things might escalate and they might try to see, like, they might try to test your chin. And if you fight them, you all might be friends after, or you just might get your ass whooped, but you still held down for your people. And that's all they're trying to look for. And even though they whooped your ass, they're not going to leave there and they're not going to hunt you down afterwards. They're going to tell their homies, hey, they were down for their people and they stood their ground. Right. So that's the kind of club that I'm trying to walk into. I'm done with these one piece, two piece clubs. Now these guys are about it. I'm talking to these prospects. They're the same, tatted up all the way head to toe, just face tats, neck tats, talking about jail stories, prison stories, being down for like 9 years. No, I'm still active duty. I'm still, I'm a sergeant in the Marines, bro. I got like people I'm in charge of. I'm like, this is fucking wild. So I go to the back. They call me in. My buddy who recruited me, he's like, hey, come here. And I like go to the back. I go through the house and it's like Vista, California. It's a little ghetto, bro. Like these houses, you got like French bulldogs fucking barking at you. There's 30 of them for some reason. They're barking at you. And I go back. I see like 40 tough dudes. Like, you ever seen that movie Den of Thieves?
Yeah.
There's a scene where like a homeboy's daughter's getting picked up for prom and the prom date comes in rocking, on some gang shit. And the dad's 50 Cent. 50's like, yo, dude, I'm not about that. Come here, let me holler at you. And he goes to talk to him inside the garage. And he opens up the garage and there's like the toughest looking dudes you've ever seen. Like Samoan, Chicano, Hispanic, big ass white boys. Bro, that's what I walked in 2 times 3. There was 3 times as many of them. And then you walk in, they're just looking at you. And in their culture, they have a chief, right? In the Chicano clubs, some of them, because this was also Pacific Islander Samoan. Not so much Pacific Islander, but more so on the Samoan side. I had a Samoan Crip who was a member in our club and one of my big homeboys. So I go talk to the chief, and it's freaking crazy, man. He's like, so it's like a movie, bro. He's like, you want to be a part of this? And I'm trying not to cheese it up, dude. I'm like I am now. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be. This is fucking wild,
I'm cool.
dude. Like,
I'm cool, dude.
Yeah, I was like, you guys ride like hell, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm part of the Turtle Club. They're like, some of them brought up, they're like, yo, isn't your old lady a cop? And I had to stand on all 10. I was like, yeah, like that's what's up. But I'm leaving her. So like, what's up, fellas? I'm living this. I straight up said that. I'm like, I'm leaving her and I'm living this life.
Yeah.
And I did, bro. I fucking did. And I like from that moment on, because of that. And the chief brought up a good point. He's like, my brother's a cop, but I'm the chief. He's like, but I'm not going to not talk to my own blood brother. So he kind of had a little bit of feeling for me. Now, they're not bootlickers by any means. They're not letting any fucking cops in their club. But they're still going to acknowledge, like, how do you get around that? Like, Annie's leaving her. Like, if I was staying with her, it would have been a hard no. Because then you have a direct tie to law enforcement. That's not going to be okay. And even if you're not doing shit, like, this is just for people who don't know. That's a standard rule for most clubs, because even if you're not doing shit, you're going to be around clubs that are doing shit, right? You're going to be going to the same events as these other clubs doing shit. They don't want to think that you don't want them to think that you're a cop club or that you let cops into your club, because I'm not fucking kidding. We would have smashed you. Or we did.
That I thought that was kind of wild because there was a point where I was like, I have a motorcycle. I got an Indian,
Hell yeah.
and and dude, like at one point I was like, you know what? I want to try to find some brothers. So there was a local chapter of the Leathernecks. Now the Leathernecks they're a legit 3-piece
Yeah.
club.
No,
Okay,
they're
all
cool
right,
boys. Yeah.
yeah, they're cool. Okay, yeah. So I went through the whole rigmarole. Was like, I'm gonna be a hang around. They explained everything to me. They had the prospects. The prospects are essentially like Marine Corps boots. They're over there like stacking bricks and shit and running around and doing this and doing that. And I got mad respect for it. I'm not what I don't mean any disrespect to the club culture, but I
Oh
got
yeah.
to a point where I talked to those guys and I was like, how much time do I have to commit to this? And they're like, bro, this and that. And I talked to the members of the club, to the guy who recruited me, talked to the president, and they're just like, you need this much time. And I'm like, my kids are young. It took me like a month or so, but I realized I was like, look, I don't have time for this. And no
Yeah.
disrespect. So, but I didn't just D out on them. I went to one of their meets. They thought I was going to ask to be an official hang around and start prospecting a little bit later. And I got in front of all of them. I was like, hey, I want to talk to all you guys. I want to talk to all the brothers. And I told them, and I was straight up like, was just like, I'd man to man, guys, I just don't have time for this right now. And they were like, man, respect, brother. Like, hey, you
Yeah.
got your priorities straight, and that's great. And actually, one of those dudes was in 3-5 and singing.
Oh,
One of the
banging
guys
and
that's in the
banging.
club
Shout out,
locally.
boys.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with a few of them, and but maybe one day. But I don't know. It's just not. I like to ride, but I don't want to be tied down to you know what I mean, like a club. I don't want to
Yeah.
have to go to something if I don't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I will I will say this, and I've waited a long time to say this. There is nobody else who is more qualified to tell you that as a Marine, as a combat veteran, I'm still down for my people. I'm out good, and if they ever needed my help, I'm gonna help them. But you don't need to do that. Like, I know how hard it is to get out and think that you don't have anybody, because you don't. And even when you fucking do, bro, you don't. It's just you. You're a man. Like, that's the way the world's gonna be. It's never fucking changing. So when you're around other people who want to avoid that, they don't necessarily, it feels like they want to bring you in because they want to bring you up, but that's not what's happening. They want to bring you in because they want you to stay down where they're at, because misery loves company. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean that they're bad influences. That just means that maybe their environment was different than yours and you got caught up in their orbit. And that's
Now,
a hard thing to get out of.
and I don't know your experience. I mean, it might be the same, but like, and I'm not saying like the local chapter, the next, they were good, but it's a heavy drinking culture. So
Oh, yeah.
like if that was
Oh, yeah.
something that you're like, hey, that's a trigger for me, I want to avoid that, or
Yeah.
I want to avoid drugs, like, hey man, like if you're looking to be clean, that's not the place to be. I mean, there might be certain clubs, but this ain't,
Yeah.
the ones that you obviously, and the one I've seen, definitely not. So yeah,
No, man, you're not gonna. It's all drinking culture, and it's really crazy. There's everyone's drinking and riding. I mean, I rode 55,000 miles in 2 years on one of my motorcycles, 2018 Road Glide. Yeah, at one point, that's all I had. I didn't own anything. I didn't live anywhere, and I would travel for like weeks at a time. I would just go. I would sleep. I would make like a lean-to with my motorcycle, sleep on the side of the road, and man, I fucking loved it. Like, I was free,
yeah,
and it was cool because I started. But that's when I started having like, I know I'm kind of jumping around here, but the more I rode, the more I realized that I was alone when I rode. And I started
yeah,
having like this crazy, kind of cheesy epiphany of like, that's kind of like life, man. Like, I joined this club. I'm with this big brotherhood, and in life, you make all these friends, but you're going to spend the majority of your time alone. you're going to have to shower alone, brush your teeth alone, sleep alone. Even if you have a partner, I mean, they're not inside your head with you. So you're alone, bro. And there were times where I would ride. I didn't have a radio. I didn't have headphones. I would ride, thousands of miles over days at a time with no music and just the wind.
Man, dude,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know if I could do that.
it's crazy. Like I loved riding, but I also had no home. I knew that wherever I stopped, that's where I was gonna be. But when I got to the club and I did my prospect time and that's awesome. It's not I'm not gonna speak on that because that's my people's that's their kind of thing to run. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna, if you want to be a part of that, you want to find out, I'm gonna let you do it on your own. But being a patch holder, I'll tell you this, it's fucking great. It's awesome. You're gonna wear your patch for 3 fucking days as soon as you get it. I don't care what club you're in. You're in a 1 piece, 2 piece, outlaw, whatever. You're gonna wear your colors and ride everywhere that you can because
everywhere.
you want to represent for your people. You want to show and the work that you put in because real ones know. You're not doing it for the people in the cars that you're passing by, right? If you're in a club and you want to be the baddest dude on the road, right? You want to be that road warrior. When you pass motherfuckers, you want them to see like, oh shit, he's not a prospect. That's not a hang around. That's a patch member, and that's a
That's a
bona fide
patch,
ass
yeah,
club. Dude, put
dude.
in work, respect.
I do that even now. Like when used to when I rode my bike, I would be excited to see another motorcycle.
Yeah.
You throw your little sign down. But then after I kind of screwed around with the club, now every time I see a dude with like a vest on, I'm like, who's he with? Because
Yeah.
it's like once you've kind of seen that culture, it's like that's what you look for. Now you're like, who they with? You know.
Oh yeah, man.
But
You're right. It's a lifestyle. Like, the one thing I will say about prospecting is they'll let you know that before you, because you'll be given a choice. Like you'll kind of be a hang around for a few months, and if they like you, they're gonna bring you up for vote again at church, and all the brothers have to be like, yeah, let's let this fool try out, basically. So as a prospect, you're trying out, and you gotta be sober. And this is just everybody. This is like worldwide. Any club worth a damn is going to keep their prospects sober. You're just on call. That's
yeah,
essentially you're like an on-call duty, and you're everything. You're security, janitor, nurse, whatever. But once you do that for a year, if you get voted in, then you get to be afforded the opportunity to sit and vote at the table, which is cool. Then your eyes are open because you always hear the members will tell you as a prospect because you're sitting out there at church. Sometimes church would be like an hour. Sometimes church would be like 5 hours. And then when you're a member, you get to understand why because there's stuff to talk about, man. And even the smallest things, get a group of guys together. I don't care. Get freaking 10 dudes together. Get them to agree on one thing in 10 minutes. I don't even care what it is.
yeah.
It can
Good
be,
luck.
hey, who likes this? One guy is going to be like, I kind of like ass, dude. Like, I like
Yeah,
this, but ass. And then we're going to be stuck for 20 minutes debating this, dude. So now you have a club of these quote unquote alpha guys, right? Everyone has this alpha
oh yeah,
mentality, but everyone's drinking. It's freaking crazy, man. Church could turn into, voting on maybe a new law that we're wanting to throw in, a new bylaw, or two brothers got to settle something. That's been something I've seen a few times where two brothers about to throw down, or they do. But going to these events as a club is really where you're gonna you got to market your club yourself and do your job. Every club as a patch holder, you're going to have, like I said, the pres, the vice pres, the sergeant at arms, the treasurer, and the secretary. Right? They all have different roles that they fulfill. And now all the members, they just have to be good members, be good men, be good representatives. Don't be a drunk asshole. Don't be out there shooting your gun in the freaking air while you're drunk. Don't give the cops the finger when we're going past them at 110 miles an hour because maybe they'll chase us at that point. Or if they do chase
yeah.
us, don't fucking pull over. Keep going. Don't be a pussy. Like, God damn it. Dude, I'm not even kidding, dude. There was a time. There was a time where I was prospecting. I was active duty in the Marines, man, and I'm fucking. The cops are behind us. They're behind my whole club, and I got like 5 other, prospects from a different club. I know they're Marines. I know it. I've talked to them, they fucking stopped. And I'm like, later, nerds, I'm fucking out of here. And, there were still more cops that came, but eventually we got away, but they stopped. So,
Dude, and those guys that stopped probably got
oh,
reamed.
done. You're done. You're never
God,
riding your motorcycle again. Bro. I got banned for riding a motorcycle or even operating a vehicle on base for like a year because I passed. And this is a dude. Shout out. His name was Major. I'm not even fuck around. Law. LAW. You're a
nice. I like that.
bitch to the bone, Major Law. You can hear that today, dude. I went around him and I gave him the finger. I was on on the shoulder on Barcelona on base and gave him the finger, like, yeah, fuck you, outlaw forever. And I was in like some bitch veteran club that wasn't about shit. And I thought it was so hard, bro. And it burned me for a year, dude. I had to
Ah,
like
dude,
park off
so
base, have my homie pick me up.
when you was he wearing like his vest or something on base?
No, he's in a car. And I
Oh,
was
okay. So
like,
you went around him in
yeah.
a car, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
"Yeah, fuck you, you're slow." And I was in this dude, I was in this is embarrassing, a Harley 883 Iron. So, like, this tiny little
Nice.
speedster thinking I was Jax Teller, like, super hard. I've been riding maybe 4 months. Just
Bro,
being
yeah,
an asshole, bro.
you were hard, bro. 4 months in
Yeah,
on the
man.
883.
Yeah, dude. But probably the hardest thing, like, about that life is, like, you were talking about the drinking cultures. Once I tried to get sober one time while I was in the club before I
Oh
left.
man.
That was fucking hard, bro. Like I would show up, everyone's drinking, and then I was known for drinking a lot and still kind of holding it down and still riding like a demon. So when I stopped drinking, I was still trying to like ride all the time. I wasn't really enjoying the riding as much because I was used to, my dopamine levels being ridiculous. While I'm
Yeah.
riding, dude, I would be like drunk as shit. I would take a Xanax. I would smoke so much weed, and I would just
Holy
go as
shit.
fast as I fucking could for like 6 hours until I needed to sleep somewhere, and I would just pull over and sleep on the road. But dude, I didn't care, man. And that road, it genuinely will lead you to either death or you're going to go to jail, which I would end up doing multiple times. I was what you would call a midnight rider. Like I would show up, just get fucking hammered somewhere multiple times. Dude, I've been hauled off to jail for just being a drunk piece of shit. I've been in the drunk tank. I've had like 5 cops draw guns on me one time. That scene in Brothers where the dude's out front and he's got like the pistol in the air and he's like, ah! Like, bro, I did that. That was me. I had my ex-wife had told me like, fuck you, I'm done. And I like got drunk, left work in the Marines. And then I just like blacked out for the next 7 hours, woke up with a pistol and the cops were there. I'm like, ah, dude, it's fucking crazy.
Bro, you know what you need to do? You're I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but your social
Yeah.
media campaign where you're like, hey, you can make yourself better.
Yeah.
You need to get all your mug shots like from when you got arrested and then be like,
I
yeah,
had to ask for him, dude.
I went from this to that, like that would be
Oh,
pretty
shit.
funny, man. Yeah.
I would,
Just
if
you
you get to
looking
see
all
your
gnarly.
mugshot, like when they give you your property, it cracks me up how pathetic you look coming into it. So you look pathetic, you look fucked up. Like I was just all sad because I got caught up, just being drunk. And other times where I'm just like, yeah, bro, fucking, I got a bruised eye, just stupid shit, man. Or this is probably like when I got out, what I struggled with most though, because like I said, I won't speak on much of the club life stuff. That's their thing, but you guys need some context of like my background. But when I got out, I was like still drinking, and my ex-wife, my third ex-wife, right, current ex-wife, she got me a
Current.
job with her uncle at this really great lighting company where I got a company truck, dude. I was like doing it, bro. I was like, she still was in my life and shit, but it was hella toxic. Like the whole thing started off toxic. Never marry someone that you got with the first 3 minutes you met them. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you don't know anything about that person. And then my dumbass was like hammered. And so I did not pull out, my dudes. I was in there
Oh
for the
yeah.
long haul. And then I paid that fucking price. And then I doubled down, right? Because then I left the club. I'm with this lady. I had the kid, right? I'm going to try it again, right? Because now I'm sober. I have been sober a little bit. My relationship got more and more toxic the more sober I got. And this is a learning
Wow.
point for a lot of dudes out there, man. Right? You're gonna, meet some chick. I'm not saying this because I'm sour. Trust me, I'm not. I'm talking to a beautiful lady right now. But I'm serious, bro. So like
Give
you'll
him
get in a
months instead
relationship.
of minutes.
Yeah, boom, boom. Yeah, like I was out there. If you're like looking for chicks to bang on in one night, don't fucking marry that girl because
Yeah,
that's you're gonna end up just in either divorced, unhappy, or resentful, man, which is worse. And I would try to like make it work. I got sober. I started going to these AA meetings and shit. And I'm still sober to this day. I've never turned back, man. Like I said, I'm like coming up on 1,500 days. November
wow,
5th is actually I think it's my 4-year anniversary. It will be this November 5th. So I'm pretty stoked on
man.
that. I'm going out with one of the dudes from the unit, and we're gonna go hunting. But
November 5th.
yeah, dude, we're gonna go out deer
Oh,
hunting.
okay. So every time my wedding anniversary, I'm gonna text you and be like, "Hey, are you still sober?"
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dog, dude. I'm no matter
That's
what, dude.
my
I made a promise to myself. I heard some dude talk about that. Like those AA meetings, they're all fucking bullshit. If you're like a real ass man, you got some discipline. You don't like have to do on your own, but you can program on your own. You can like AA program on your own and still have a circle of support. You don't have to like. I'm not saying like you got to lone wolf it. That's not going to work. Don't ever isolate. You need support. But when I was with this girl, like I was in this job, I had ended up eventually at a job where I was a maintenance man and I had a bunch of apartments to service and I lived on site, right? So
mm,
my relationship was super duper toxic. I'm talking yelling, spitting, throwing stuff at me, hitting me, calling me, just domestic violence as a mofo, dude. And I'm taking
damn.
it because as a man in California, dude, if the cops show up, I don't even care if you don't even touch her. If the cops show up and there's a domestic dispute in California, you're the man. You are going to jail, buddy.
You
End of
are,
story.
yeah.
Here in Kentucky, it's a little fucking different, and I love it. But I'm out here trying to square up with females, but they're at least fucking fair here, dude. Fucking A. So like it's super duper toxic, bro. And as the years go on, it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm getting better and better. Like I'm getting in shape. I gotten kind of fat when I got sober because I started eating a lot. Because I met this girl and she's like, I don't care how you look, blah blah blah. Let it all go.
Let
They
it go,
care.
baby.
They fucking care. Do not let it go, dude. And so I
Don't.
would see pictures of myself, dude, where I had like a spare tire, man. And I remember it was like January 1st, 2023 was the day, or January 1st, 2023. I had like woken up early, and my relationship was so toxic to where she would not even like she would throw a fit if I woke up at like 6 a.m. to go work out. So I had to wake up at like 6:30 so I could quote unquote cuddle her for 30 minutes. And that's not getting
Oh,
laid 30 minutes. That's like real fucking cuddling, dude. That's stupid shit. Waste of fucking time. Bro, so January 1st hits 2023. I'm like, all right, new year, new me, bro. I got my knee braces on. I'm fat as shit. I got love handles, dude. Couple chins. And I'm like, I'm going to do burpees, bro. I saw like one burpee video of this dude in prison doing it. And I remember all the big homies in the club, they would do them shits and they would get ripped like really fast. So I would work to where I'm like, I'm going to try to do 100. And it's fucking hard. And I just kept doing that. And I like never stopped. And my fitness levels just kept going up and up and up. But as my
how
fitness
many can
kept
you
going
do
up and up
now?
and up, oh, bro, hundreds. I mean, I could probably do 1,000 without stopping right now.
Get out of here, dude. I seen
Yeah.
your video of you doing them. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, we did them in the Marine Corps. I don't know, you might not have, but dude, that is the worst workout ever. I hate that workout.
It's
But
fucking
it is
terrible,
effective.
bro. Yeah, like you get ripped up. Like I have a whole workout thing now, but back then that was like the transformation was these fucking burpees, right? Because like I didn't
Yeah.
have a gym, I couldn't fucking go anywhere. I had to wake up early to not piss off this bitch. And I'm out there fucking crushing burpees, dude. And I worked at a senior housing complex, 55 and over. So imagine you're like 55 and you see my fucking chubby ass out there just sweating, making fat guy noises, and you're trying to walk your dumb ass little dog at 6:30 in the morning. I'm over, fucking just trying to
Dying.
lose weight, thinking I'm gonna fix my marriage. No, bro. It was like you get married, you're hot, and then they want you to get kind of fat. I know your marriage is probably much different, but an unhealthy marriage, this is what happens. You get married, they want you to get hot because you're hot, and then They want you to not be hot because then that's fucking competition. So they
That's right.
make you get fat. They tell you they don't care. And your fucking testosterone goes down and you get these bitch tits. Then you end up like me doing burpees in front of old people at 6:30 in the fucking morning. So I just kept
I'm
doing that. It never ever ended, bro. I would go from that to dumbbells to now sandbags to calisthenics and to fighting. I had my fight gym doing it. I had like 10 dudes lined up doing burpees. It's terrible, bro, but it's effective.
so you're first of all, yeah, that whole thing about low T, that's seriously, I think if public service announcement, guys, if you're not feeling right, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like that's something to look into. And there's certain simple things you can do. Like you can do certain peptides, not steroids, but there's certain peptides that can kind
Oh
of
yeah.
they use your own personal they stimulate growth hormone. And I actually, dude, I started doing that because so I went to the doctor and I was like, check mine, bro. They were like, it's
Yeah.
like 450, and the
Oh.
doctor's like, oh well, the VA's not good. Yeah, he was like, we're not going to do anything because it's not under 300.
Yeah.
So the VA's like, we're not doing it. So I've been on a mission to do things, change the way I ate, do all that. And I'm
Mhm.
going to tell you, I feel tons better, man, taking certain
Good,
peptides.
dude. I'm
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
for you because it's sometimes it's not because I'm all natural. I don't take anything. I don't take
yeah.
steroids. I don't take any supplements. I take protein powder and that's it.
Nice.
But I'll tell you, dude, if I took some fucking tests, your boy,
Yeah.
your boy would be out here.
I think you might be a little too crazy, bro. I think you would probably
Oh
need to
yeah,
check them
dude.
levels. You
Yeah,
ever thought about taking creatine though? Because I've been hearing a lot
nah,
of people say that that's really good for you, regardless.
yeah. I think for because I might be trying to dabble in some personal training. Uh,
Yeah.
I know that if you're trying to look big, like you're trying to swell up. So pro tip for any younger listeners, 21 and up. You're trying to go out Friday night, work out at like 3, right when you get off work, get a stupid pump in, and then like as you're working out, right, even if you've already had creatine that day, drink some fucking creatine, and your body is going to retain the pump and the water from the
Mm.
creatine. So your pump's going to look a little extra juicy when you're going out there. Most effective in spring and summer months.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
That's a great tip. Tip of the day. Tip of the day brought to you by
Yeah,
Shayne.
man.
Hey, so okay, so you're doing burpee psychosis.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
where are we at now? So when you got sober, you're doing the
yeah,
burpees.
yeah,
You're still with the ex-wife, the current
yeah.
ex-wife. Where are you at? Are
Yeah.
you still out in California? Or are you back in Kentucky at this point?
Nah, I'm out in California. I'm in Marietta, California, and because that's where she's from, right? So her whole family is out there. They're honestly kind of cool people. I actually don't have any beef with any of them. I think she's just a crazy bitch. But I mean, because they're awesome. They're really cool people.
Yeah.
Shout out, fucking her
Yeah.
family. Not gonna throw their
Yeah.
name out there, but you know who you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. So like, it started getting kind of bad. I started realizing that. I mean, I'm literally like the physical violence within the apartment was getting worse and worse and worse. I'm taking it, bro. Like I'm getting like punched in the face, 5 times on my
Mm.
lunch break, and then this fucking bitch is chasing me around on at the like. I work where I live, right? So like, she can just walk out the door and chase me. And she would
Oh
like get the
shit.
kids and find out where I was at, pushing my kids around on a stroller at like 10 p.m. and like trying to like it was crazy. It was fucking wild, super toxic. So I don't see a way out. I'm like at work, hiding in janitor's closets, pretending I'm quote unquote on call, bro. And I'm just like
Holy cow.
crying and shit, bro. I'm like fucking crying, or I'm like doing burpees and shit. So my dad starts texting me. He starts reaching out to me, and I haven't really been tight with him for like 12 years because we didn't have the best relationship growing up. He just didn't know how to communicate a lot, and he was very tough. He was a riverboat captain out here in Kentucky and Ohio, so he grew up real hard. In my opinion, I think he did the very best he could. But I'm not gonna do things the same because I'm a little more loving than my dad was. Like I tell my kids as much as I can, "Good job, I love you." Give my son a hug. I was just kind of treated like an employee or an apprentice. So that was the relationship we had for a minute. And leaving to go to the Marines, that was still the base. And when I was in the Marines, I didn't try hard at all to keep in touch with him. And if I did, like I called him in Afghanistan a couple times. Call got cut short once, and it was just not a good experience. And so he didn't get to really get to know me at all. I went from being an 18-year-old boy to 10 years later, I'm getting a call that his health is terrible. He's telling me that he's like, bro, I can't do anything. He's like, if I get a cut, I'm gonna bleed out. If I get an internal cut, I'm gonna bleed out. He's like, I got some disease, my liver's shutting down. And I had
Damn.
finally gotten, like, with myself, I had accepted the fact that my wife was a bitch and I'm just gonna do this on my own with my kids. And mentally I was good. I had like zoned her kind of out, but now I'm linking up with my dad and I'm FaceTiming. And this is not the same man that I grew up with. Like he looked frail as shit. Like, holy shit, bro. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years. It's bad. And 2 weeks later, I'm getting a text from my mom, hey, your dad's in the hospital. Because I know I had tried to keep
Mm.
in contact with him after we had FaceTimed, and the texts were getting shorter and shorter. And he had told me, like, he can't even read the text. His eyes were gone. Like, he was blind. I'm like, well, shit, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. And my mom's like, yo, we're in the hospital. And then it started getting bad. And she eventually was like, she FaceTimed me after it all happened. I didn't get like a text saying he was dead. She called me and she told me, and it fucking sucked, bro. It sucked
Yeah.
because I didn't get to do the right thing when, I should have, because there were times like when his mom died, I didn't, and he did reach out to me. I didn't answer that phone call, and it still haunts me to this day. Because on that night, we probably
Ah,
could have
damn.
reconnected, and that would have saved me years of catching up with him that I wasted because I was too immature and too butthurt as a young man. But he died, man. And my mom was there. It was pretty gangster, dude. Shout out to my fucking mom, dude. This is the hardest chick I know. She works at UC Health, right? My fucking dad died at UC Health. So my mom was my dad's nurse until the moment he fucking died. So picture
Damn.
that. The woman that you married and were with for 30 plus years literally took care of him till his last breath. There is
Man, that's
not, I
insane.
see a lot of trad wife shit out there. Wherever the fuck trad wife is, my mom's above it. My mom's the shit, dude. Right? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing more hardcore than that. There's a lot of dudes who are down for their people, down for their homies. They ain't down like that, man. So he
Yeah.
dies, and I go to the funeral, and I see my brothers and my sisters. I haven't seen them in 10 fucking years, and they don't even recognize me. No one in that room recognized me. It was hella awkward, but I just wanted to kind of see my pops, in person. Hadn't seen him. They buried him in his captain's uniform, which was like huge to him. It was part of his identity, being a riverboat captain. So that was cool. The funeral was sad as shit. 100%, absolutely fucking miserable. But I got to like see that maybe I'm needed here. I had to go back to California. So I went back to
Yeah.
California. But before I'm going back to California, dude, my wife or my ex-wife and her mom get into some bitter fucking argument, and she's like, oh, hey, we should just move to Kentucky. And I'm like, fucking bet, dude, fuck this. At least here I'll have support. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. So we fucking move across the country, right? I'm talking the next day. We're like in the fucking airport. We fly home. I get a U-Haul that day, bro. I drop like $3,000. Boom, done. Like we're getting a U-Haul. We are the fuck out of here. I am going home, bro. So it's terrible, bro. I mean, everything you can imagine driving across the country with your wife, your two kids. My aunt came out and my cousin came out, dude. Shout out. They flew out here just to drive the fuck back. Road dogs, man. And it was terrible. Broke down, a couple times actually. Blew up the fucking U-Haul at Bucky's.
Oh
Shout
my
out Bucky's.
God.
We broke that out Bucky's, dude. It was so gangster to break down there.
Yeah.
But
Hey, man, look, if you have to break down at any gas station,
right.
a Bucky's is
Yeah.
definitely top notch, my man.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
So we fucking, anyways, get back here to Kentucky. I'm trying to do the thing where like I'm with my family now, and things are actually going kind of well. And I'm living at my mom's house after my dad passed, and we're fighting a lot. There's a lot of arguing going on, and I'm starting to notice these patterns that were very similar to when we were in California. Now, before we came out here to Kentucky, I was getting texts from people that she worked with. My mom was getting texts from people that she worked with that she was cheating on me with guys at work, guys at the club. And I started thinking about all these quote unquote girls' nights that she would
Girls'
go out on.
nights.
Right? And I'm like, fuck, man, I'm a dumbass. But also, I just didn't care. I hated the bitch at the time. So if like she wanted to go, I was like, fine. But I wasn't cheating, so I thought she wasn't cheating. I was fucking wrong, bro. Oh, best thing that ever happened to me. So when we got here and that same pattern was picking up, and I'm like, she's like not coming home until late as fucking night, and I'm with the kids all damn day. And she's working at Harley Davidson, right? She gets a job there. So she's always gone. And now she's gone for a couple days at a time. I'm like, well, fuck, bro. So she ends up crashing out, bro. Comes here, crashes out. I tell her, fuck off. You're out of here, whatever. So she takes off. And for a few months, bro, it's just kind of like me and the kids. Like straight up, bro. She would pop in and out
Man.
randomly for like 10 hours. Pick the kids up, go do something, drop them off. And at the same time, calling the cops, telling them that I'm kidnapping the kids, but then she dropped them off. So like, it was crazy for a while, bro. Now it's been like a year and some change. And so things have cooled down. It's 50-50 custody. But in that time, shit fucking sucked. Cause I was alone as hell, man. And this is a shout out to the veterans. You guys got to reach out to people when you're feeling like this, when you're going through. I don't care. I mean, if it's a breakup, man the fuck up, go find a new one. But if you're going through like a divorce, bro, and you got kids, you're in my situation, like you tried turning around and just blew up in your fucking face, like you got to reach out to other veterans, you know, like if I would know Rivers was in Georgia, I probably would have contacted Rivers but it doesn't matter where they're at. You guys all got Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You got to reach out to somebody because I started doing that. And one of my homies reached out to me too. And we're from the same unit. He's from 2-4 also. He's a bastard. So I went through this phase where I was super internal. I was taking these fights that were short notice and I was super outmatched. I was just a tomato can. I just went in there to get punished, bro. I wanted to get beat the fuck up. And I did, bro. And eventually I started fighting, you know, kind of decently, but I needed to be a fucking adult. I needed to get a job. I needed to do things, bro. Like, damn, I'm not going to make this. I thought I was going to be a professional fighter. Straight up, bro. I thought I was going to be in the BKFC. That call never fucking came, unfortunately, bro. Like I've had two bare knuckle fights, right? Won both of them. Fucking really my favorite sport, but it's so hard to, the barrier to entry is pretty difficult right now. It didn't used to be back when it was illegal.
Yeah.
But now that's legal.
Back when it was illegal.
Yeah, bro. I fought my two bare knuckle fights and shit kickers and jeans in a fucking cornfield twice, bro. Like it was, that's how it was done in that area, man. But now they're wearing like shoes. They got a ring and a ref, which is cool. But I'm like, my fight career fucking failed, right? So I'm like, oh, dude, I'll rebrand. So I'm like, I've rebranded as like a Marine, as a man and shit. Like, I tried the family man thing, that didn't work. Boom, I'll try the fighter thing, that didn't work. All right, fuck, man, what am I gonna do now? Wilderness. Let's fucking go for wilderness. Like, because I had stopped fighting, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with all this fucking time? Because I was trained for like 6-7 hours a day. I'll go to the fucking woods, bro. This is something that has to be talked about. When you fucking do this for the first time, do your goddamn research. Do not do what I did. I went on Google Maps. I didn't even download an actual map. I went on Google Maps. I found the first wilderness area near me, bro. I had someone drop me off there. I didn't bring any water. I didn't bring any food. I brought a pot, like a little fucking boiling pot you find in your kitchen supplies, like stainless steel shit. Threw that in my ruck, bro, in like a like a hot water bottle or a hot water container, one that can transport hot water, right? Which means the water won't fucking cool down. And this is July. This is the end of July in Kentucky, dude.
Oh, man.
So I'm not going to give out my special spots, but I'm out there in the wilderness, right? Bro, I didn't have a compass. I didn't have nothing. I walked around for like 10 hours in the dark, right? And this is the forest. This is not like Camp fucking Poundton where you can walk around in the dark and be okay. This is the fucking woods, bro. You're going to get lost.
You got trees, bro.
Dude, I'm not, see like in the movies where like they see a sign and they walk the path and they're like, they think they're going to be at the next location. They made it. And then they see the same fucking sign. That fucking happened to me, bro. And I'm like, I threw my hands down like, no. Dude,
it's the same sign.
No, dude. I had brought like nothing but weed with me. So I'm like high as fuck. I've been like, walking for 10 hours in the darkness, no water, bro. I'm sorting through everything. I'm tripping out. I look on the map and there's this little blue dot. I'm like, there's fucking water. And I'm like, I'm literally with my phone, shirtless. I've taken off my ruck, taken off everything, abandoned all hope. It was like going towards this water source in my pot, and I get the water, I fill it up. It's literally a frog pond, bro. It's just disgusting.
Oh,
I boiled the shit
bro.
right then and there. And I actually went back a couple weeks ago to that same spot, and it's still there where I had this fire, like my survival fire. I was going to die. Like, I
Nice.
was so dehydrated. I was like passing out and shit. Like, it was beyond heat exhaustion, heat fatigue, whatever the fuck shit that is. I was just done, bro. Like, someone was going to have to silver bullet my ass sooner or later. But I just realized at
Listen,
that point that that's what I was going to fill it with, dude.
that's how like when my wife is a packer. Okay. So
Yeah.
when we've gone hiking, when we've gone camping, she will always pack
Dude.
everything. And I'm always like, bro, you have too much stuff, because it gives me Marine Corps vibes where they're like, here's this giant packing list. You need
You're
this
like,
giant. Do you remember the stupid clothespin they made us have?
dude,
Like it was
never
on
fucking used
every
it.
gear list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck do we need a clothespin for that looks like it's for giants? But anyways, I digress. But anyway, I
Oh,
have
shit.
she thinks that's how I'll go to the woods. Now, don't get me wrong. I would go to the woods with slightly more things than you had, but
Yeah.
still not much. But I'll
Oh,
give my wife
man.
credit. Every time we've ever went hiking or camping, I have never asked that woman for something that she did not pull out of something. And I'm like, what?
That's what I'm
You
talking about,
brought
girl.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Shout out, Mrs.
it,
River. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you,
But
like, I made a fucking mistake there, dude. I made a spear.
oh
I actually
yeah,
still have it in my house. I ended up killing some frogs, and I ate those. I was
man.
there for like 3 days. Ate some frogs, and I threw a stick at what I thought was a turkey. Was not a turkey. It was just a beefed up woodpecker. And so I
Nice.
fucking killed a woodpecker, tried to eat that. There's no meat on it. So I took one feather, fucking ditched out. I was like, I'm gonna use this for bait. I have a recurve bow with me. I'm thinking I'm gonna call in some coyotes with this fucking bait and this recurve, bro. And so I'm over here at dusk. I got this raw meat. I'm just walking around the woods trying to like get coyotes to smell me. I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't care, man. I just wanted to try to kill something, to be honest with you. I needed to feel adversity and I needed to feel a victory. And for most hunters, I'm assuming that's what it feels like. Full disclosure here, I'm a woodsman. I'm not a hunter. So I'm out here in the woods comfortable, but I don't know what I'm doing trying to kill these animals. Now I kind of have an idea, but back then I didn't. So I just kept
Dude,
doing this wilderness immersion shit, bro.
I've seen your post with a recurve, and I was gonna ask you how good you are with it. Cause so I have a
Pretty good.
compound bow now, and I had one as a kid. But before I
Yeah,
bought the compound bow I have now, I bought a recurve bow at uh like a yard sale or something like that,
yeah.
and I actually got pretty decent with it. But like the first year I had it, I went deer hunting with it, and one time there was a deer out of range, and the other time I shot at it, and they say it's like what's the term for it where you shoot but you don't really aim? It's there's a name
Instinctive
for it.
shooting.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
so
do.
that's how I kind of did. That arrow sailed right over that deer, dude. I was like, nope.
Always, it's crazy because you'll hear guys like I got deep into it, bro. Once I hit the wilderness thing, I was like, all right, bro. So this is my whole identity now, and I did that, and it
Yeah,
kind of made my social media kind of take off a little bit. I went from like nothing to, I mean, a little something. But I chopped a tree down in my yard, right? So I Googled, I'm like, what's the best tree to use to make a bow? Fucking never made one. And they're like dogwood. So I went and found a dogwood tree in my backyard. And the axe that I actually chopped it down with was the same axe that I grew up splitting logs with for firewood. So it was kind of like a
nice.
full circle moment. Yeah. I
Yeah,
chopped down the tree and brought it in. I made uh, my first self bow with a hatchet and a knife with that tree, with that stave. It's called a stave. Well, you have a portion of it. There is a video on all of my social media about it. It's a little longer. It's like a minute 30. But yeah, I made the self bow, and it worked. Like it fired, and like my whole thing was I didn't want it to just work. I wanted it to be effective. So
Right.
it's about a 40 pound draw weight. Most of the self
Nice.
bows that I've made, like the first one I made, it broke, bro. So I was gonna give up and be like, fuck, maybe I'm not. It sounds so stupid. I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to do that. Maybe it's like above my skill level. And I straight up was like, fuck that. And I made another one, and I have both of them. I have the broken one, and I have the one that I made, both sitting right next to the spear that I made on my first long hunt or mini hunt. I have all that here because I wanted to show that like that was the failure, and I didn't quit. And then that's the
Right.
one that succeeded. And I have the arrow. I have my son's first bow that I made him. And I just started making these fucking bows, bro. I started chopping down more trees and getting really into being primitive. I'm like, man, I'm gonna make my own arrows. I just started going full scale with it, dude. And
Dude.
I realized I liked being out there, and I felt healed. Like this is something that a lot of guys don't realize about what's going on out there. What's really happening, because people do a terrible job of putting this into words. I was going out there and I was feeling healed because I was getting closer with God. When we're home and we're waking up, first thing most of you guys do, I'm guilty of it, is you check your phone, right? Whether that be your
Yeah.
bank account, your email. I'm sure a lot of professions, that's what has to happen. But you will also check your Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Very few of us will actually sit there and pray or acknowledge the life that we have or the surroundings that we're currently, engulfed in. Like having a beautiful home, having a bed to sleep on, having air conditioning, having heat, things that didn't have, at one point, or 90% of the world does not have. So when you go out there and you're in
Yeah.
the woods and you wake up when the sun comes up and the animals wake up and you can hear it and you can feel it because God wakes you up. When you wake up and you look around and you get to witness everything around you that brought you to that moment, and God brought you to that moment. And it kind of all sinks in, and you don't have your phone because it's either dead or you don't have cell service. If you're with me, we don't have cell service where I'm going. So sorry, bro. You're just out here
Yeah.
with nature and you're not going to have any distractions. That's what happens. That's why you feel like you're healed. That's why you feel closer and you see all these veteran retreat things. You don't have to sucker in for that and like, pay these people money to go take you on a fucking fishing trip. Be smart, do some research, take a fishing pole, take a bow. You don't have to catch anything. You don't even have to kill anything. Just go hang out in the woods for like 3 days, man. And I guarantee you, if you haven't found God, you will. If you have felt like you're not as close as you need to be, you know, he'll reach out to you. You just got to listen. And I realized that that's what was going on with me. Like I made a pact with God a long time ago that, if he got me out of a situation where I was going to die, I'd dedicate my entire life to helping people. And I fucking did not keep that promise. And it took going out into the wilderness for a few times. I mean, I would say weeks, into the wilderness to where I finally listened. God had been reaching out to me for years, man, trying to tell me like I'm not living the way that I promised, and it sucked. And even this week, bro, I feel like I've got a lot closer. Going to church this Sunday. I'm gonna start taking that up. Gonna start, I pray every morning, every night. Now that's the difference the wild does for you. And it's crazy because people want to have the answers and they think it's on their fucking phone. They think it's behind this computer screen or whatever they can find at a store. But go as bare and essentials as you possibly can. The more you take away, the more you're going to learn. The less you fucking have, the more you're going to know because you're going to be forced to know. If you don't know how to make a fire and you're out there for a week and it starts raining, you're going to figure it out. You're going to freeze to death. And if you're still alive
Yeah.
at the end of it, you figure out how to make a fucking fire, bro. Congrats. But yeah, sermon over. I just wanted to fucking throw it
No, you're
out.
good, bro. I mean, that's, I, that was one of the things that, it more or less, me and my wife have always talked about when we talk to other couples that are having issues is how much social media are you on? And how does that influence how you look? Because I've said this time and time again that when you look at someone's Facebook or you look at someone's Instagram or you look at someone's TikTok, it is a 1 second, a 30-second, a 1 minute snapshot
Highlight.
of their life. So you can dress that bad boy up. You can make it look like you're super successful. You can look like you got a great marriage. You can look like you can make anything look good. But dude, people's lives are in shambles and you would never know looking at their social media.
Bro.
just not going to find it. And then the other thing is then that makes you look at that and you're like, man, well, they got all this nice stuff and they got this. And then you start becoming materialistic, and like you're talking about, you go
Oh
out there,
yeah.
you do these trips in the woods, and then you start to appreciate nature. You appreciate God's creation, or if you're not religious, whatever, whoever higher power, but nature itself, I have said this again, that it is healing. And the fact that I work on this farm and I work outside in the sunlight, dude, every morning, I know it's one of these bougie health things, but every morning when I get up, when I walk out of the house before I get in the truck, I take my sunglasses off. I look at the sun for like 30 seconds and it's red, and I get those just natural rays in my eyes, get my
Yeah.
natural juices flowing. Then I put my sunglasses on and I roll out. I do that every single
Dude, I
morning.
love it, bro.
You, you
That's
know?
gotta help. 'Cause you're like a naturally positive dude. You haven't changed at all since 2010, bro. So I can only imagine that that's probably doing wonders, man. I amplifying your, you already got good traits. That's got to help it immensely. And a lot of it's also like vitamin D, right? Or is it vitamin C? What comes from the sun?
Yeah, I think it's D. I think it's D. Yeah, no, like that. Honestly, it the way that people observe my personality from the outside
Yeah.
sometimes is a downer for me, because when I do
Uh,
have a bad day and I'm not
yeah.
faking it out in public, everyone that knows me will be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Why is
Yeah.
something I can't have a bad day? Everyone else has a bad day." And they're like, "Bro, you just have that personality where you're not allowed to have a bad day, or then everyone's going to have a bad day." And I'm like,
Oh
"Come on, bro.
man,
I can't be
dude,
leading the
I don't
pack
believe
here,
it. Yeah. That's what sucks, man. You start realizing that as a man, like you're around your kids. You have a shit day, bro. I had plenty since my wife left, dude. Plenty of shit days where I just wasn't doing the right things as a dad, and I was letting my emotions dictate what my kids' activities were for the day. Not going outside for an entire day, dude. We're just sitting there. I'm all moping and tired. I'm sad. She left me
Yeah.
missing her. My kids are over here just wanting to like thrash. So
Yeah.
that took it once that was a funk, and I'm lucky that I have the support that I do. I had some really good people around me who were like, "Yo, dude, like what's up, man? You can't live like that. They need to be outside." And as soon as that was said, being outside every single day, no matter what, that became a thing. And then I started building trails. I built trails in my backyard. Then I started teaching them to shoot bows. Then I started taking them hunting. And then we were at this fucking random creek where I made them hike and they're falling asleep. Like, dude, I'm taking my kid camping. We're out there in the fucking wilderness, bro. We're just doing crazy shit. People don't believe what they're seeing. I have my son on my shoulders and I'm passing hikers. They're like, "Did you camp out here?" Like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
dude, fucking wild, dog. I'm over here like, yeah, bro. He's raging
Yeah.
on top of my shoulders, man. Having a great time eating gummies, having all kinds of fun dip, just smearing mud all over his face, looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator. My kid's an
Oh,
animal, bro. Like, they need that shit. When I was growing up, we couldn't afford to do that where we lived because I
yeah.
lived in a neighborhood. We rode bikes. We did the normal neighborhood kid shit until I moved to the country, and there was fucking nobody.
Yeah.
But I think at most, bro, being a good dad's gonna come down to regulating your own emotions and realizing, like you said, you might have a bad day, and everybody's gonna realize it, and you can have a bad day, but for your kids,
Yeah.
you can. Those are the only
Yeah.
people in the entire world where you gotta be like, "All right, bro, what's up? What do you need?" Because man, I'm guilty of it. I snapped at my kids
Yeah.
or been super short emotionally. My kid, he wants to have 50 hugs in a row right now, 50, no
Yeah.
matter what. And I'm just like, at 25, I'm like, get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
That's to him. Now I just broke his heart. So
Right. Oh,
it's a
yeah. I
double.
mean,
You're trying to manage time and
uh,
toddlers.
the guy I talked to yesterday, he made a good point. We At the end we were talking about how, veterans will get 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with that. You get 100% disability through the VA. Hey, good for you. A lot of us got it, some of us don't. But the problem is some veterans will take that and be like, okay, now I make enough money to not do anything. And then what
Uh,
happens is then once you're still and you're doing nothing, there comes all the PTSD, there comes all the self guilt and all that stuff. And
Oh
it's like
man, just
we were
fucking
talking
nailed it.
about. Yeah, bro, like you have to keep your mind occupied. You have to stay busy. It is it and I'm not saying that that's an excuse not to work on the other issues, but what I'm
Yeah,
saying is it will help you immensely.
dude, I couldn't agree more, man. Because it starts getting to the point when you're talking about like you isolate and you start like dude, it kicked in me, man. Like I started really having some bad anxiety. Like I don't have like I have natural anxiety, but I don't have anxiety like that to where I'm not
Yeah.
wanting to do things or like I'm fucking fearful to go talk to somebody. Like things that like just crippling, like literally like socially crippled, bro. That's what it feels like because you don't know what's going on. And at the end of the day, it's like because you're fucking alone, bro, and you chose like
Yeah.
physically alone. Like I get it mentally. Yeah, stay hard, bro. You're gonna be alone forever. Like we get it, uh, but like you have homies. You gotta have friends, man. If you don't have friends, fucking make a volleyball with a bloody hand and a smiley face, like they did in Castaway. Make you a Wilson, bro. Make you a something. Just don't be alone. 'Cause I swear, every
Yeah.
time I've been alone, dude, I've either been like I've come close to relapse a couple times for sure, and every time I've come close to relapse, I've isolated myself or been isolated. So it
Interesting.
comes down
I
to
yeah,
community.
that's what I was gonna ask. Like you've been sober for so long now. What have you ever come super close? And what's your advice to somebody who's been as long as you, and or maybe not as long, and that they're just starting? And what is it that you see are the biggest triggers to relapse?
Time. Yeah, like you said, you have to do something with your time. If
Mm,
you're there's always something to do. I'll tell you that right now. Especially, all these guys are veterans. This is the best way I can relate it to you. If I take you, right, we're out there, we're on an op, you're going to be on glass for 30 minutes, I'm on glass for 30 minutes, whatever. There's always a job. One person's going to be doing obs, one person's logging down the information that we're all seeing. You got to find a job. So if you would do that in a mission with me, like you wouldn't sit in a hide with me and just let me do everything or just sit there and act like you didn't give a shit. No, you would find a job. You would occupy your time because you don't want to be miserable. Because if you're not trying to find something to do, you're going to just sit there and welcome the miserable world into your fucking life, bro. And that's going to drain you. So by me taking like, okay, I need some help. I got to reach out to some people. There's a lot of shame that comes with that. And it's all self shame, dude. Fear is an ocean you can fucking stand in. I don't care. You could tell some, as long as you didn't like have some bad paperwork, bad paperwork being like you did something you shouldn't have and you got arrested for wrong stuff, not the cool stuff. Then
yeah.
like, dude, you can reach out to almost anybody. No one's going to judge you. Everyone thinks someone's going to judge them. No one's going to fucking judge you. And if you're struggling, you have to reach out. Time and reach out. Those are the only two things. Well, three things. Habit. You got to form good habits. So having a routine is going to set you apart. Like it sounds stupid, everyone else that's sober, that doesn't have a drinking problem or a problem with drugs, they're not worried about that shit like you are. They're like living normal lives. They're normies. They don't give a shit. Like you are waking up and you're like, okay, so today is what day? Like you're immediately doing something different they don't fucking do. You're figuring out how many days sober you've been. Like you're immediately put into that action, whether you want to be or not. Okay, I'm this many days sober. Okay, I'm going to stay sober today. Like it has to be you wake up. Okay, I'm on a mission. From this mission, what's my routine? Okay, I'm going to give thanks. I'm going to be grateful for the next 10 minutes. Even if you got to write it down, make a schedule, right? From 6:10 to 6:20, these are all the things I'm grateful for. I'm going to write 10 grateful things every day at that time. From there, I'm going to have a coffee. From there, I'm going to go on a walk. You don't have to go on a run, but maybe in a month, it turns into a run. And maybe on the second month, that run turns into a run to a pull up bar. And the run to the pull up bar turns into run to the pull up bar, make a video, show everyone how good you're doing, network, meet a new group of friends, start entirely a new life because you changed your environment, right? You have to find like your routine will build you. It might seem simple as for like it might seem really stupid and simple at first of just waking up and okay, at this time I eat breakfast, at this time I work out. it is regimented. You are in a prison essentially because you are an addict. Like
Yeah.
everyone else is not in that prison with you, bro. So you're doing time alone. You have to treat it like you're doing time. You're not going to be in a jail fucking thinking every day is fun. No, they're going to have program. They're going to have routine and you're going to follow. You're going to get fucked up. Same thing in life as an addict, right? As an addict, follow the fucking program or you're going to get fucked up, right? If you don't have a program, find one. Call me, text me. So check this out. My number is 949-324-1157. You can call me, you can text me, make yourself known because I don't just pick up for random numbers. But if you make yourself known and you reach out to me, I will talk to you. I will figure out how to help you, whether that's a workout plan, how to get sober, some dad issues, some marital issues. I'm probably not the best with marital issues. I've got 3 fucking divorces. But I'm a good dad and I'm in good fucking good shape. So, but
You
man,
know that I think that you talk about you talk about it in steps, right? You're like, hey, we're gonna do this. Today you may run. Tomorrow you're gonna run to a pull-up bar. You know what I'm saying? Or a week from now, you know what
yeah,
I mean? I think the problem with veterans is we have this mentality where we have already done all that. So we're like, oh, if I go, I gotta go hard. So like
yeah,
if I haven't worked out in 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just going on a
yeah,
short run and doing maybe some curls or just even like you talk about, you were doing body workouts. You didn't have a gym. You were like, I didn't have money for a gym.
yeah,
So it's like you were out there just
yeah.
burping it up, right? And so that's the thing is like
Fuck, bro.
you can't go hard right off the bat because what that's going to make you do is quit. And then you're not going
Yeah,
to build a habit like you're talking about, where you keep it long term.
100%, man. Like I get hit up all the time. Guys ask me like, what workout should I do? This is the golden fucking answer. The one you can do every day for 6 months. That's what you
Yeah.
do. If you can't, like, if I give you a workout and you can't do that every day for 6 months or with the program for 6 months, dude, you're not going to do it in 2 weeks. So you're going to waste my
Yeah.
time. You're going to waste your fucking time because you watched one motivational clip and you got pumped up because you watched some edits.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been there, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I see you. I see you. What's your wake up time on average?
4 a.m. Yeah,
Okay,
4
now
a.m.
do, did you get that from Jocko, or is that just something you feel like you got to be up at 4?
Originally, yeah, well, I was, like, yeah, fucking stay hard. It was the Jocko thing. But when I started fighting, my schedule with my kids, I had them a lot still, but I was fighting competitively. I needed to train for 6 to 7 hours a day, and I couldn't take time away from them. And they were getting dropped off at the time at like 8 a.m. So I figured, all right, I'm sorry, 9 a.m. So I would have from 4 to 8 a.m. and I would just train hard as shit. And then at the last 2 hours, I would train while they were asleep. So then I was still getting my 6 hours in, but I was with my kids all day. And I just did that for a couple of years, man. I just never stopped. Now even on days like I don't have my kids this next week, I don't even need an alarm clock, bro. I'm gonna be up at 4 a.m. It's not because I'm hardcore, it's because I have fucking issues.
I mean, like my thing is like, so that's my, I don't have time in the evenings because I've come home, spend time with the kids, help cook dinner, help the wife because my kids are homeschooled. So my wife works all day. So her job
Badass.
is here with the kids. Well, it's fine, but that husband has to understand that your wife's job is here. So when you get home, it doesn't matter whether you've been at work all day. You've
Oh
got to
yeah,
kind of give her a break. And so
100%.
plus that, and then I have to check chickens every night if we have chickens. So I got to go down to the farm at 8 or 9 a.m. I got to spend an hour down there, 8 or 9 at night, and I've got
Oh
to walk
man.
through all the chicken houses, double check if there's a problem. It may take me an hour to fix. So I don't have time in the evenings. So
Yeah.
like my thing is I've got to do it in the mornings, but bro, I cannot for the life of me get up early anymore. I try. It's my biggest struggle. That is my kryptonite, bro. That alarm clock, that bed, bro, it
Yeah.
loves me, bro. And I have watched so many of Jocko's videos where Jocko's like, the bed, you don't need the bed. The bed don't need you. Get the fuck up. And I'm
Just
like,
a boy. Well, this is honestly what happened because I've noticed when I've gotten comfortable This is something that everybody says, and this is important. It's your why, right? So for my why, I genuinely believe and I know that like someone is out there right now training to like fuck you up, bro. Like there's gonna be some drunk dude who's probably gonna try to either slap your chick's ass or say something to you and your kids while you're at the grocery store, and you're gonna have that mental option at that time to walk away or to throw some fucking hands. Now, working out at 4 a.m. helps you develop a lot of mental discipline. It helps you think a lot and assess things. So that's going to help you if you ever decide you need to walk away. But waking up at 4 a.m., choosing motherfucking violence really makes it easy if someone decides to choose the same fucking thing. So be a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war. Like that's the best thing I can. I think I read that in was that Art of War or some shit, bro. But that shit
Maybe.
stuck with me since I was a kid. I'm like, that's solid advice, bro. I ain't no bitch. It
But
sounds
see, yeah,
terrible,
like
but it's true.
my thing too is that if I got up at 4 a.m., I don't work out but about 30 minutes to an hour. I did a lot of bodybuilding stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of powerlifting. I did a lot of that in Kuwait on my last deployment. You're talking like hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym
Oh
minimum
yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
I just don't
Yeah.
have time for that. Plus, I don't have the equipment. I do have some, and maybe I could work myself up to that. But I'm like, at this point, I'm like, dude, if I can do 45 minutes to an hour a day, I'd be killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then that
Yeah.
would give me time when I'm up late at night editing these podcasts. I could do it in the morning, right? Because now I don't go to work till 8 a.m. Well, I live on the farm I work on. So it's 3 minutes on the Ranger across the farm and I'm at the
Oh,
office.
nice.
So, dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
I can. So I have gotten to the point where I was so undisciplined at one point, I was waking up at like 7:40, 7:45
Oh,
out of the house
my
by like 7:57 and then I'm at work at 8, and it was
God.
just a bad dude, it tore me apart.
Yeah.
Like it started to leach into other points of my life where I was like, I'm not being disciplined. And so now discipline is not, you know what I mean? Like I had to have a come to Jesus. And hey, look, for those of y'all out there that are like, oh, he's better than me. No, it is still a work in progress. And I'm going to promise you right now, I'm not the best. Not even close, you know?
It's good to be honest, man, especially when it comes to this working out stuff, because I'll tell you guys, man, you're going to start out if you've never worked out since you got out of the Marines, and you're going to look at my videos. You're probably going to get discouraged. I'm going to tell you right now, it took a lot of work to get there. It took thousands and thousands of repetitions through hundreds of days with no days off. Didn't matter how much I slept. It didn't matter where I was at. There's videos of me doing push-ups in the wilderness. Like I was getting it anywhere I could. So don't see my videos and either A, try to be me or be better than me. Yeah, try to be better than me for sure, but in time. Don't
Yeah.
don't put your body through that. Like what Rivers is saying, your tendons, like just science right here, some bro science for you. Your
Yeah,
fucking tendons,
bro,
if you are
sorry.
35 years old and you haven't worked out for since you were 25, you're gonna blow out your Achilles, you're gonna blow out your knee. I have done both of these things. So you have to build up to it. And
Yeah.
mental, like your whole mental fortitude, you have to build that back up too. You're not going to have the same resolve you had when you were war crying up the fucking Reaper. All right, you're gonna you have about as much discipline as you did the day you showed up on the yellow footprint. If you've been out for like 10 fucking years and you haven't worked out, if you're in this position, you're like, maybe I should look up the Gritty Woodsman, bro. Take it easy, okay? Give
Yeah,
yourself a
because I mean,
6 month
that's the
plan.
thing. Is you're 17, 18, you're like, well, I don't really work out, but you don't realize that naturally you're still in relatively good shape. Unless you ate Cheetos from the time you were 10 to the time you were 18, you're still in relatively good shape. And then
Yeah.
on top of the fact that in boot camp, you didn't have a choice. Like, I mean, everybody likes to be like, you volunteer. Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't feel volunteered to do anything those 13 weeks. Trust me. So, you know what I mean? Like, but when your alarm clock goes up at 4 a.m. and you're like, I'm gonna be like the Gritty Woodsman, or I'm gonna be like, Jocko. When that alarm clock goes off, you look at that and you go, dude, I could bump that bitch back 2 hours and still be up 2 hours before. You know what I mean? Like, so that mentality. That's why I'm saying don't start hard. Be like, all right,
Yeah.
hey, I'll wake up an hour early. Now I'll wake up
Yeah.
2 hours early. You got to take
Yeah.
it in
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah, don't dedicate like a lot of guys will do the 4 a.m. thing, and like Rivers is saying, they'll quit because it's not feasible. You can't do that. You got to find something that you can fit into your life. Maybe it's not 4 a.m., maybe it's 12 to 1 p.m., maybe it's your lunch break, right? But
Yeah.
if you decide to wake up at 4 a.m., I fucking highly recommend pre-workout. I could not recommend that fucking anymore. Like anyone who's up here with some natural vibes, just if Jocko's up there, you're a fucking liar, Jocko. Not
Dude,
taking pre-workout, whatever, bro. You're up at 4 a.m. You either fucking hate your wife or you take pre-workout. That's the only way you're up at 4 a.m., bro.
I'm gonna tell you, man, Jocko. I did not know who he was when I was active duty, but like I
Yeah,
found his podcast, read one of his books, and I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, that dude is an animal,
he's a fucking
animal,
unit.
dude. But did you see his speech on Camp Pendleton?
No,
Okay,
recently,
so for the Marine Corps' 250th birthday, when the vice president was out there, Jocko gave a speech on Main Side. And yeah, it was pretty
wow.
good because he gave the Marines mad ass credit. He was like, "You guys are the best war fighters on the planet." I was watching that. I was like, "Hell yeah, Jocko! I love you so much, dude." You know?
Yeah, dude, Jocko,
But
he's a hardcore dude, and no lie, yeah, Jocko definitely motivated me on my path. But a lot of it also is David Goggins. It sounds so fucking crazy,
oh
because
yeah,
I get labeled as some things because of the way that I look and some of my my political views as a white nationalist, but I'm not. I'm an American nationalist, and that's why
okay,
like David Goggins, man. That fool, I read his book and then I bought the audiobook and then I listened to it 4 times in a row. And
man,
I would listen to that guy while I was doing burpees, bro. And that book, it changed everything because I saw like, holy shit, this guy is being called, X, Y, and Z. He's fat as shit. His life sucks. He's kind of where I'm at, and he's just not quitting. He's
no,
not giving up, bro. And I didn't even like spend a lot of time looking up his running videos. I just wanted that mentality of like where people would see, like I didn't even have an idea of to make a channel yet. I just wanted to have what he had. And I noticed that in my channel, a lot of the messages that I get from people, they're fucking all dudes, right? I thought maybe by getting ripped, I would get like some female DMs. I had to have like 30 to 40 dudes hit me up and be like, hey, how do I get abs, man? Like, what do you
yeah,
eat? But they don't want to. I eat toddler food, bro. I just work out really fucking hard. My diet's
yeah,
terrible. But like, it sucks ass, man, because you like as a dude, you want to like be the best that you can be, but you also want to provide. And it seems like there's
yeah,
just never enough fucking time to do both. Like you have an hour, well now you have to research what can you get done in 1 hour, right? If you have to work 12 hours, there's guys that are like linemen or they work on those oil rigs. Burpee
yeah.
Central, boys. Hey, go straight to prison workouts, man. Hit YouTube, figure something out, but don't just give up. There's so many men giving up and they're just like simping, bro.
Well,
They're
I agree with you. Excuse me. I agree with you on this point, but there's something
yeah.
I wanted to throw in here is like my wife will bring me photos sometimes of guys because we love to just show each other photos of other people, and we're like, "Can you look like this?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, but she'll find these dudes that are like super ripped, and she'll be like, "He's about your height," blah 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 blah. And I got good genetics, so I'll admit I do have that. I got good genetics, but
Yeah.
it's like I tell her, I'm like, do you realize how much time these guys put in? Like the hours per day that they
Yeah.
have to be in the gym to create that masterpiece is
Yeah.
ungodly amount of time. Like, and then on top of that, like you said, not everybody has the money for that. So a lot of these super ripped dudes are influencers. These influencers, they
Uh-huh.
they they have the time because they have the financial ability to have the time. But when you're slugging away, barely making ends meet, and you've got to work 2 jobs, it's like, well, when is their time?
Exactly, man. And a lot of dudes out there, right? They're on job sites and you get about 30 minutes to an hour on your lunch break, right? If you work construction, you're blue collar. I had a homie that I was cool with. He's still on YouTube, I think. His name's Burpee's Giant. Also a Christian man. Shout out. But dude's out there on his lunch break. Like he's mowing lawns, and at the property, he just goes on the sidewalk next to the truck and he does burpees. Dude's 6'3",
Wow.
right? He's a freaking hoss, man. So you don't need much. You don't really need anything. You don't even need a lot of time. You don't really have to diet that much. Just crank out some fucking burpees, man. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. They're not the answer to everything. You're going to feel like they are once you start them. They're not. Okay. Fitness as a whole, just be fit, right? Be fit. Don't get sucked into powerlifting, burpees, calisthenics. Do it all, right? Enjoy it all. Be fit. Become the best, like, dad or husband or boyfriend or just fucking you, dude. Like, a lot of dudes, they're not even doing it for themselves. They're doing it because they're like, my wife wants me to do this, or my kids want me to do that. Like, hey, bro, also do it for you. If you aren't
Do it for you.
loving you, the people around you are going to feel that. And your
Yeah.
workouts, it sounds so hippie, but if you don't love yourself, your workouts are going to suck, and you're not going to see the best gains that you could possibly get out of it.
Dude, agreed, man. Like, so that you love yourself, like that is what me and my wife tell people all the time about. Dude, that
Really?
goes so many things. Like relationships, you have to love yourself before you can love your partner. And until you deal with your own issues and your own insecurities and your own problems, you're not going to make this work because you've got to be good with you. Once you're good with you, then you can be good with someone else. And
Dude,
that's one of
yes.
our biggest things. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that's great, man. Like, so you got the fitness channel, you're doing the fitness thing, you got the wilderness thing. What's next? I mean, are you just trying to grow that brand and you're just trying to be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, honestly, I just did some thinking, man. Because like I am, I have these people hit me up. And I started realizing, like, I'm handing out these workouts, bro. Like, I'm giving people 2-week programs to follow. And it takes me some time to make these because I kind of like figure out what they want. So I'm slowly starting to realize I'm online coaching people for free,
For free.
which,
Yeah.
yeah, which is like, I'm having fun with it. So I started figuring out, like, how can I monetize that? Well, I can become a personal trainer. I started thinking, is there any money in that?
Yeah.
Possibly, right? There's a lot of potential self-made money, right? So I already have a decent following. I already have a decent brand. I already have a good message, and the message is never going to change, right? It's always going to be same. Me, Christian, American nationalist, love my country, love fitness, love bushcraft, love the wilderness, right? That's always going to be the channel. It's never going to be segmented towards one thing or the other or fall in line with any political shit. It's just we're American, and that's what this channel is about. And part of being American is taking pride in your fucking appearance, being jacked, bro. Like that's right.
Yeah.
People don't realize it's like if you walk into a room and you're a dude and you look like shit, no one's gonna listen to you, bro. Like that's one thing those Tate dudes got right. Like if you walk in and you command the room because it takes discipline, like you were saying, the hours it takes, the discipline it takes to look like that. People understand if he can do that to himself when he's not at work, what the fuck is he gonna do while he's at work and people are watching? The
Dude,
work ethic shines.
I went to a water park. I took the kids to an indoor water park the other day. That's why y'all didn't have a podcast last week because I lost chickens. I spent we
No,
when we do that, it's a 24-hour process. So I had like
no
worked all
shit.
night 2 days that week. It's a huge process. So anyway, I was just like, and then I took the kids because I finally had some time off where I didn't have chicken. So that's my real time off. So I was like, let's go to the water park. Anyway, so I'm walking around the water park, dude, and I am goosenecking at every guy because everybody's got their shirt off, right? And so I'm
Yeah,
like, man, I'm like, dude, that guy's really let himself go. And I hate to do it. I mean, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind
I
of
know
one
what
of
you
the things.
mean, dude.
And then I'm like looking at them and I'm looking at myself and I'm like, is he better than me? And I'm like, yeah, he is better than me. And I'm like, damn, but
Yeah.
my thing is you were talking about your purpose. One of the purposes that I like to talk about, the reason that you need to be in shape. There's a ton of reasons. Longevity,
Oh,
being there for your kids, being there for your wife, being there for yourself, but also being hard to kill. When you are in shape,
boom.
you are harder to kill. Period. It's a
Yes, sir.
scientific fact.
Dude, I love
But
that, man. A lot
actually,
of people don't they don't appreciate that. That like that's you're not just getting fit to stay in shape, bro. Like if something happens, you could protect yourself or others because of your fitness level. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. I mean that's one of the things that like so my wife come to me one day and she was talking about this and she was like somebody asked on TikTok video or something like that. They were like, "Can you pick your kids up and put them above your head?" Right? So if you ever got into a
Yeah.
survival situation where something happened, an accident happened, and and
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like it's not just about looking good. It's about having functional fitness to where you can do something either in an emergency or just every day. Because at 35, 40, kind of the age we're starting to get up to, is you
Yeah.
sling that 40-pound bag of feed over your shoulder and you might throw your back out if you're a weak, fat
Oh yeah,
slob,
bro. There's no muscle there to hold it up. You can have this work ethic of, crazy, ability mentally, but physically, if your body can't withstand the amount of force repetitively, eventually it will give out. Like a little
Yeah.
hack you guys can do. Like this is some stuff I figured out. One, of course, you got the burpee. I'll never stop selling it. Two, the sandbag. Check this out. You can go to Home Depot and get tubular sand for $5.78. You can get, I think it's a 50-pound bag for $5.78, probably $6.20 something with tax, depending on where you live. You take your sea bag, that shit they issued you, that you lugged around every time you went to the fucking airport on leave. You can take that piece of shit, dump all the stuff out that you're never going to look at again, and put it back in your closet. Put the 50 pounds of tubular sand in the sea bag. Pro tip, put it in a hefty trash bag first, then put it in there so you have like a liner in case your sea bag has holes in it. You make that bad boy 150 pounds. The average weight of a person is 150 pounds. So if you have dead weight 150 pound sandbag, sea bag, you just made yourself a quality piece of training equipment for around about $25. Pro tip.
Yeah, another thing I've seen is if you take that sandbag and I've seen the snipers do this before, is
Yeah.
duct tape it, multiple layers of duct tape. And then,
Okay.
so then it becomes like a pet that you can carry around all the time. And if it
Oh
starts
yeah,
to leak, you just add more duct tape and you just keep
that's
duct
right.
taping that baby up.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah,
that,
man. People don't realize there's little hacks out there. Like you don't need a gym. Like they get jacked in prison, one, because they have a lot of fucking time and they don't have a lot of food. So they're working
yeah.
out, and unless you're getting commissary or store, like even in jail, like you're kind of eating like some sack nasty. It's not very good, dude. But yeah, like one thing I did realize is I started this whole the Gritty Woods men group, right? So I'm the Gritty Woods men, and I kept having these people hit me up about fitness and bushcraft because people are like, "How are you? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you do this? Like, how can I do that? It doesn't look that hard, right?" So I was telling everybody, like, "Okay, well, you can just come out with me." Eventually, one of my buddies was like, "Bet." Right? Because he literally did the same thing. Hit me up. How do I do X, Y, and Z? How do I make a shelter? How do I do this? Told him to come out. He rolled out, and ever since then, we went on one trip, and now we've been on like five. we we
Nice.
have experienced incredible things. It sounds super homo, but we experienced incredible things together. We woke up once. This is straight God talking to us, man. We woke up in my awesome little secret spot that we found, literally walking and just like, oh, what's that? Boom, boom, boom. Found it right on the edge of the water of this area. We woke up one morning, smoked a nice little funky cigarette doobie, and these two eagles, bro, these two eagles come in side by side. Nothing
Dang.
more American than that shit, bro. And they circle in, fucking God, doing their eagle thing, being all freedom like, circling right above us. And our two dumbasses are ripped as shit smoking this weed in the morning. So we're flapping our fucking arms, doing, just making
Yeah,
noises
bro.
back, dude, communicating. And this went on for like 8 seconds, bro. And then they fucking
Wow.
flew off. Dude, it was beautiful. All right. And that all started because some dude just wanted to know how to make a fire. Like simple
Man.
shit, bro. And now we have the Gritty Woods Men, a wilderness men's group. So if you're in the area, if you're in Indiana, Ohio, or Kentucky, if you're just in the state, we can usually find a way to meet you somewhere in those areas and do a camping trip. or a hunting trip, either or. But that's what I do. So if you guys, once again, my number is 949-324-1157. My name is Shayne Wood. I'm the Gritty Woodsman, and you can reach out and join for free. You don't need shit besides your own gear, and bring your own food. We learned that. We didn't bring food a couple times. We almost fucking died. So bring your own food. I highly recommend you bring your own water filtration device. They're about $40 if you don't have one. Whatever, you can bum one off us. But yeah, dude, everybody's welcome who's a man. It's strictly for men. So you can be a fat fuck or you can be a jacked dude. Doesn't matter. But we move as fast as the slowest man. If you're the slowest man because you're a fat piece of shit, everybody's going to hate you. Boom.
I think that'll, that's pretty tight, man. I think what you're doing is good, because you're teaching guys things. You're teaching them how to, be independent. You're teaching them how to, and I'm gonna tell you, dude, these life skills are going away. Like, people don't know how to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It almost comes down to like when last time I went to Washington, D.C. on a family trip, I had packed a bag of tools, and my daughter was like, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Look, let me show you." I was like, "You got this, you need these things." And she was like, "For what?" And I was like, "In case something happens."
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
literally in Virginia, going down the interstate, all of a sudden, all the lights on the dash just gone. And they start flickering, and I tell my wife, I'm like, as soon as that battery gets below 12 volts, the diesel will shut off. So I'm like,
Yeah.
where is the nearest O'Reilly's? And she's like, I was like, it doesn't matter. Any part store. It's like 9 o'clock at night, so it's almost dark. It's
Oh,
like right at
man.
dark. We get off the exit to the O'Reilly's. Long story short, it ends up dying right there. Got a tow like 2 miles down the road to the O'Reilly's. But in the parking lot of the O'Reilly's, I pulled the alternator off, pulled the belt off, showed,
Yeah.
the girls went and got something from a gas station. By the time they got back, I slapped that alternator back in, ready to rock.
Boom.
Nothing. 1,200 miles later, dude, got back to the house, no problems. But it's like I told my daughters, I was like, this is why.
Yes,
These are
sir.
the life skills. These are tools that you need to know how to do. And you're doing the same thing, man. Like going out, teaching people how to start fires, teaching people how to, just be independent, man, and not be relying on the system.
That's basically what I wanted to do, man. I didn't want to rely on the system. I didn't want to have to because I knew in the Marines I could do that. I did it growing up as a kid, but I would take things with me as a kid. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I would at least bring like some food with me. Now I was out here, fucking no food, no water, thinking I'm Bear Grylls and shit. Like, it's the same thing as if you haven't worked out in 10 fucking years. If you haven't done any wilderness training in the past 3 years,
Yeah.
maybe go on like a 1-day camping trip first. Like, I went like full fledged into the woods, didn't give a shit if I died. I really didn't. I was feeling super depressed, but it ended up being a good thing. Yeah, man, like people don't realize it's perishable. Like, you don't know how to make a fire. I guarantee a lot of people don't know how to make one, even if they have a lighter. I watched it. That was the first
Yeah,
thing I
yeah.
had my buddy do. I said, "Hey, I already set up the camp. You gotta make the fire. Let me see how you do it." And I recorded him. I recorded him making it, and I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna show you how to make one now, and then tomorrow morning you're gonna make the fire in the morning." We did it, and I recorded it, and it fucking worked. Like, no, it was kind of cool. It was like,
Nice.
holy shit, dude. And I started explaining my kit loadout. I have a fire starter kit. I have petroleum soaked cotton balls, and he's like asking me questions. I'm starting to realize, oh shit, there's a lot of stuff that I do that I don't even think is like a thing. And people have no idea why I'm doing it. And if I just told them, they would have this knowledge and it'd be a lot easier for them. They wouldn't have to suffer like I did
Right.
trying to start a fire with 2 wet sticks. And recently, bro, I was just, I did like a whole week immersion somewhere. And I was out there in a thunderstorm, bro, for like 3 days. I'm
Oh,
talking,
shit.
I had a tarp and a hammock and a hatchet and a fishing rod. Caught some fish, right? I brought my little Dutch oven pot with me, cooked up some fish. It wasn't that bad. I ate some mushrooms that I found. Found some chicken of the woods, found some berries, some acorns, right? So like you can still forage some food and have a decent meal out there. But man, I'll tell you what, going from day one to where I'm at now, the stuff that I do know, I want to teach people because it's fun to learn. Once you know how, like, bro, if you have a ferro rod and you're on a first date with a girl, if you've ever seen that movie Dear John, and he like builds the fire for that hoe and he fucking fucking ferro rods it out and it starts, she's like, how'd you do that? Right? Fucking just smitten. That is real. I'm dead. I was married, like my bitch ass ex-wife, like a year ago saw me do that, maybe a year and a half ago, and that got her fucking cunt ass wanting to get in my fucking pants. So it will work on a random ass female, boys, right? It's like magic. If you can start a fire 5 different ways, you got 5 different magic tricks to just blow females' minds with, man.
That's wild, man. I mean, I wouldn't have believed that until I went to a birthday party a while back, and these
Yeah.
people had this little fire in the backyard. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna sit around the fire pit, whatever." And so, like, two dudes attempted to get this fire going, and I was like, and I'm sitting back there in a chair and I'm like, what's going on? And like, I'm not saying I'm a wilderness expert by any means,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm going to tell you right now, I know how to start a fire because I grew up with a wood burning
yeah.
fireplace and I
Yeah,
got one now. So I know how to start a fire because
yeah, yeah.
you know that you don't always have those little fire starting blocks that,
Oh, yeah.
everybody buys from Home Depot. Yeah, I've been out of those more than once. So like I kind of go get the right thing. I get a bunch of small stuff. Start
The
it
whole
small,
gig,
get it big.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole rigmarole. And like
Yeah.
they come back over and they're like, "Oh, you got this going good." And I'm like, I wanted to say so many things, but I was just like, yeah, I appreciate it, guys, but
Oh,
thanks.
yeah, bro. It's a real thing, man. Like my ex-wife's family, I was on their they have like this yearly beach camping trip they would go on, right? Yearly, annually. So I'm thinking y'all can make a fire. Same shit, bro. Same as you. They finally asked me to make a fire and they were pouring lighter fluid. I mean, god damn, dude, everything. Like you get a few things, you do it right, bro. And back then I was a drunk. I was still drinking all the time. So I was just fucking hammered and just making shit happen Marine style. I wasn't doing shit with the wilderness. So I don't understand how these fucking retards couldn't get it going. And they were like 15 years older than me.
That's what blows me away, I think, more than anything, is people can't start a fire with today's, you know what I'm saying? They'll
Yeah.
have gasoline, they'll have lighter fluid, they'll have all this stuff, and it's like you still can't get it right. And that it's like, so it's like you get out in a survival situation and you got a flint, like one of those little keychain flint things. Good luck, homie, because if you can't start a fire with a Bic lighter and
You're
and a can of lighter fluid, you're screwed.
yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
right now, that's difficult. you
Yeah.
know.
I used to tell people one way I found to make fire that works because I chew gum a lot. The foil wrapper on a stick of gum, if you fold that, X amount of times to where it's skinny, hot dog ways, and you touch those two tips to a double A battery, the center of that paper that you folded into like a joint, it's going to catch on fire. It's going to be like a little flame. So for anyone who has never tried that, don't do it inside and make sure you do it with an adult if you are a minor.
I seen that on a video, and I wasn't sure if that actually worked, but I seen that somewhere.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it
That's pretty
it
cool.
uh it works good if you don't have like if you have a bunch of kindling but it's wet. That's when I used it because sometimes my petroleum cotton balls didn't they wouldn't light. Like I would have trouble getting that flame hot enough to burn the petroleum. It just
Mm,
if it's real cold and rainy, you're gonna run into that problem. If it's real cold, wet, rainy, and muddy, and you're around a riverbank, it's way worse, dude. So
mm,
having waterproof matches also goes a long way. You got to have three sources of fire, three sources of flashlight or light sources. Uh, one of them being solar, because if you're
yeah.
just 100% rely on battery power, like, dude, you're done. And there are ways to make a torch when you're in the woods, and I've done it. I did a whole ass survival challenge where I went out, and I didn't use any light. I used no headlamp. I made a fucking torch. It's hard, bro. It's like some medieval shit. You're gonna see like a foot in front of your face. You're not gonna see anything. It's good like if you're gonna die and maybe you want to see the last thing that kills you, but it's not you're not gonna like have a beam of light. That's what people forget, man. If you want to have a lot of light, you're gonna have to have big ass fire. And there was a time where I was surrounded by coyotes and I fucking had nothing but wet wood, and I'm over here fucking blowing on this fire, trying to make it huge. And my homie's got the pistol behind me, and these dogs are circling and like genuinely like closing in, bro. So
Holy
fire is a
shit.
big fucking deal, boys. And I don't care if you're casually camping, like it can go south
Man.
real fucking fast.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like it really what you're doing really makes you appreciate like for the first world. You know, if it does nothing else for somebody, it will make you appreciate air conditioning. It'll make you appreciate hot water, you know. And we got a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of that in the military, you know, because like you know when you deploy, you may not have running water, you know. I mean, you know, so we kind of already have a certain level of appreciation. But you talk about being an extreme level of appreciation. That's what you're doing, bro. I mean, you're out there like, yeah, we got nothing.
Dude, it was fucking wild. Like the worst trip I ever did so far, the hardest thing I did 3 days on the Ohio River alone on a kayak, and I had never kayaked before. So I had zero experience. I had never trained, and I went 70 miles in 3 days. So on
Dude.
yeah, I had like barge ships coming up, like you're fucking crazy, just like yelling shit at me. It was great. I had nice people. I had people offer me fish. Everyone who I told, they're like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "I'm headed to Louisville." They're like, "You're fucking nuts," and they
You're
would just leave
way
me.
away. Yeah.
Dude, I was the only kayaker out there, bro, and I was just staying on the side of the. I would find a spot on the side of the river. I'd paddle for like 10, 12 hours, just hard as shit, smoking as much weed as I could handle. Just fucking roll in, all ripped into the fucking campsite, make a fire, set up everything. There's everything that wants to bite you. There's snakes everywhere. There's gigantic spiders. I mean, it's I swear to God, the river in Kentucky and Ohio in the summer is very close to the jungle. Very, very fucking similar, bro. I mean, obviously
Man.
not the big open river, but when you start hitting the banks, man, and it's very wooded, no one goes there, bro. So that's
Yeah.
fucking raw nature. I went out there and
Yeah.
I actually took my dad's ashes with me. It was a little urn that my mom gave me after he died because he got cremated. And at the end of the trip, right, I'm at the extract point and I'm waiting for extract. I have his fire going and I'm like eating some food and some fish. And I fucking gave this speech or whatever. And I got the camera going about my dad and blah, blah, blah. It's all sad and shit. And I walk to the water and I break it open in the water. I say my piece and I put my dad back in the water where he was a riverboat captain for like 35 years. Uh, the camera cut off apparently, and I watched the video
Oh.
again, and the camera cuts off as soon as I sit down and hold my dad up. It literally goes, I hold up the urn, boom, camera cuts.
Oh
So for
man.
me, that's when I started listening to God a little bit more because that was God telling me like, hey man, some things are just for you. Some things
Yeah.
aren't for everybody, and this is one of them. And
Yeah.
that was the point where I was like, okay, like I gotta. Obviously, there's a connection that's not there that needs to be sparked again, and I'm gonna start doing everything I can to try to reignite that. And I don't care if this might be that the kindling, but I'll feed that fire as much as I can because ever since I started doing that, I felt closer to God. I felt like my dad can hear me in my prayers. I feel like I'm doing good by my people. You know, it's done nothing but just made me better. And without the wilderness, without the wild, and with all the fucking shit I went through in my life, a lot of it by choice. I'm not a victim. I chose every fucking minute of it. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it all the fuck again, boys. Every fucking second of it.
Hey, I think that a lot of us will, you know, I get that question a lot, and I'm sure you get that question a lot is, would you go back to Afghanistan? If you could do it all over again, knowing how everything happened, would you do it again? And I always say yes,
Yeah,
because it shapes the man you are today. Those lessons learned are lessons that make you who you are. And
100%.
and just like you said, there's a lot of bad ones, and I've made plenty myself. You've obviously made plenty yourself, but that makes us who we are, and we
Yeah,
can't. That's how, you know, that's how we build other men is we're like, don't make the mistakes I made. Look at me, dude. Like, you don't want to do this. And it's just like that. That's the same reason why we idolize people. And I'm not saying we idolize, but like Jocko, or who
Shit.
was that guy you were talking about? Goggins.
Goggins,
Yeah, like,
bro.
yeah, and those people put their stories out there, and that's what you're doing. You're putting your story out there, and you're like, hey, man, like, if you're going down this road, I'm going to tell you right now, like, here's your sign. Like, you can be better. And
Yeah.
and I think you've got an awesome thing going, dude. Like, super proud of you, man. I mean,
Thanks, man.
when I got off that podcast the first time we talked, I got off that podcast and I walked in the bedroom and I just looked at my wife and I was like, that motherfucker is lucky to be here. Like, and I just told her some of the stuff and she was like, wow. And I was like, yeah, bro. I mean, like, you know, it warms the heart to hear people who've been through it and then they're like, they came out the other side cleaner, better, stronger, faster, and you can't ask for nothing better.
Yes, sir, man. It means a lot that you have the ear to listen. Because a lot of dudes will sit there and they'll want to talk to guys like us to build their platform. But
Yeah,
you're doing this to get our story out there because you understand the significance of what we did and the kind of men that we are now because of it.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's why I don't do ads. First of all, I don't want the middle of your story to be interrupted by me being
Oh
like,
yeah.
yo, bro, you want some dick pills or you want some gold? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Your dick
that,
off.
yeah, yeah, like that's not what this is about, man. This is about you guys. This is not about me. I mean, cuz
Yeah.
I had a lot of talks with a lot of veterans who were like, "Yeah, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast." And I'm like, "Well, no one did it." So I was like, "Well, I guess I'll do it." And I mean, that's what this is about. And man, dude, I'm gonna wrap this up here, but
Oh,
like,
yes, sir.
I mean, well, okay, I guess we need to say your Instagram, Facebook, all that is the Gritty Woodsman, right? Is there any numbers in there?
No, there's no numbers, and I believe I am the gritty woodsman on all socials except for Facebook. It's just Shayne Wood, ShayneWood. I do answer that. I do. I check my DMs regularly, and if I don't get back to some of you guys who have been hitting me up for workouts or meal plans, give it like a day. But I never ignore everybody. Like I make sure I answer because people have started hitting me up since the last podcast. Like they
Oh,
started,
nice.
yeah, like people started reaching out on my Instagram and then wanting my phone number and shit. And I'm like, all right, fool. So yeah, just thanks for putting me out there the first time. That actually really did help. People did reach out. One
Good.
guy did say that the sober stuff that I speak on and that I show on my channel helps. And that message wouldn't have gotten out there if you hadn't have like hit me up, bro. So props to
Dude,
you. This has been awesome, man. For real. Like
I
this has
mean,
been a
I
genuine experience.
I just want to say with you on here, I've had a couple of people, quite a few people reach out and say, "Hey man, like the podcast is awesome." And they're like, "It just makes me feel good again. It makes me feel like
Yeah.
one of the boys. Hearing the stories kind of lifts my spirits, cuz some
Yeah.
of us are still in that place like we talked about where you're isolated. You live in a state, there's no homies nearby. You may have
Yeah.
friends from high school, but they suck because we're like been through some shit and you know what I mean. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I
even
know.
associate with any of the guys I was in high school with, but and so when you're like that, you're isolated, man, and they genuinely and I'll say it now, any of you guys that are listening to this, you message me just like Shayne, I may not get back to you immediately, but I will. I will make an effort to message everyone. And so thanks for all the write-ins, bro. Shayne, your podcast, I mean, you got just as many downloads as the first one. So I was shocked because I was like,
Oh, nice.
I kind of thought they were going to trend off. Oh, by the way, dude, somebody downloaded the episode that you were in the Middle East somewhere. I can't remember.
They usually do because of my tattoo.
Yeah, it was Oman. It was in Oman, and I was like, so
Yeah.
I can see. For those of you who don't know, I can see a map and a dot, not exactly where you download the podcast, but the nearest, like, so I like kind of know. I can look at it and be like, oh, Corpus Christi, Texas. I know who that is. And
Yeah.
so we had a download in Ghana, Africa, and a download in
What
Oman.
the
And I'm like,
fuck,
who the
dude?
hell is listening to this in Africa, bro?
Fucking shout out Ghana, dude. Shout out, dude. Africa, dude. What up, big homie?
Yeah.
To my
I'm
my
like,
Arabic feller, you fucking know how I feel.
yeah. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. You have an
Yeah, man.
incredible story. You have an incredible platform, and I will do anything I can to help get that out there, bro. This part two was great. We did another 2 hours. Imagine that. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week.